My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops.
When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
From executive producer Jimmy Kimmel.
What's up, team? Just two people can't launch a brand. It takes a village.
We are MMD Hollywood.
Wowee.
Which stands for medical marijuana.
Due to restrictions, we can't tell you everything about our new reality series. But what we can say is the idea behind it is fully baked.
I don't know.
High Hopes. Streaming 4/20 on Hulu.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
What's up? It's your boy, The Ted Smith from The Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
And away we go. Welcome to season 19, episode number 4067. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, and my cock, Montgomery. And you are the Men's Room. I'll tell you today, it is a random question. Your guess is as good as mine. Categories: the world's most friendly accents and delicious soup. We will play Profile This. Plus headlines, a Men's Room shot of the day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorite, TV Time with Ted. Clack, clack. Drink it and drive. All right, here we go. Most people forget their phone charger in a hotel instead of $250,000 in cocaine. Meanwhile, after 40 years, a message in a bottle washes up 6 miles away. And that is really lame. 40 years.
Damn, 40 years.
Stampede kangaroos invade a golf course down under, trying to smuggle $130,000 in fentanyl back into the U.S. That makes me wonder. And a couple take a relaxing half-hour nap on a flight to Jakarta. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, look, if you've had a job with coworkers, then you have inevitably had a crappy coworker. I mean, we all have. And maybe they're competent, but they have a horrible attitude. Maybe they have a great attitude. They have no idea what they're doing. Or maybe they're always late. Or maybe they smell bad or talk too much. And sometimes they're just creepy, whatever. There are all kinds of reasons a coworker can suck. And one of those reasons, if you're me anyway, is that they found 9 bricks of cocaine worth $250,000 and they told the cops before they told you. Now, look, I don't work at the Georgian Terrace Hotel in Atlanta, Georgia, but if I did, I would not be happy that the housekeeper who found the 9 bricks of Peruvian jelly beans and $250,000 reported it to the proper authorities. They already have enough to do. All that paperwork, don't trouble them with this stuff. Now, sure, She is a good, law-abiding citizen, but if I were her coworker, I'd be annoyed. That's just me. But look, it could always be worse, of course. There's nothing worse than a bad coworker if you're on a two-person team, particularly if your two-person team's job is crime. Case in point, we go to Pennsylvania, where a dynamic duo was one part arsonist, one part getaway driver. Now, I'm not saying they're bad at what they do, but the arsonist, well, he failed to light the building on fire that he targeted, and then his getaway driver sped off before he could make back to the car. So he ended up getting arrested for attempted arson, and they can't find the getaway driver. Like, if there's only two of you, make sure both of you understand what it is you need to do. Now, these are just some of the stories we've come across. Stories that left us with many questions. Questions we'd like to ask you in the form of a random question, and this is how it works. You call us, we ask you a question at complete random. And after you share your story, we will share with you the news story that inspired said question.
To be a part of the big show, the random question, call 206-803-ROCK. You can like the Men's Room on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live, and send your emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops.
When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
From executive producer Jimmy Kimmel.
What's up, team? Just two people can't launch a brand. It takes a village.
We are MMD Hollywood.
Wowee.
Which stands for medical marijuana.
Due to restrictions, we can't tell you everything about our new reality series. But what we can say is the idea behind it is fully baked. High Hopes. Streaming 4/20 on Hulu.
This episode is brought to you by Allianz Travel Insurance. When you're far from home, anything can happen. That's why more than 70 million American travelers trust Allianz Travel Insurance to protect their adventures. With benefits for medical emergencies and evacuations, trip cancellations, travel delays, and baggage mishaps, you can travel with perfect peace of mind. Learn more and get a quote at AllianzTravelInsurance.com.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
All the Charles, away we go. Welcome to season 19, episode number 4067. What a large and in charge program we have for you today. Guaranteed future repeat. The exciting return of your guests is as good as mine. Our categories today, we have the world's most friendly accents.
I assume the survey was done around the world?
It was done around the world. Where do you go? And you just, based on the way that people talk, they seem friendly. Based on their accents alone.
Texas. Doesn't mean they are friendly, but I mean, they sound friendly.
Here in the United States, Texas would be a good call. The Southeast in general has a very warm sound to it, although it might be a little condescending at times, depending on the message.
But even somewhere like Minnesota, it's good to see you. We're glad you're here.
But these are around the world. So these are the different countries and the different places where they say that the most friendly accents exist. Then we have, even though we have flipped the clocks and everything else, it's still a little chilly out there. It's still soup season. We have the 10 most popular soups here in the United States of America.
Okay.
Nothing wrong with a good cup of soup. So we've got the 10 favorites.
So let's go to that place in the other building downstairs where the soup's good, but the price is ridiculous.
$18 cup of soup.
How much was your cup of soup the other day, Ted?
Like $11. It was the medium.
And it was, like 8 ounces, maybe?
Yeah, 10.
I mean, chicken noodle?
It's good.
That's right. It's chicken noodle.
I had to get soup today as my stomach's in knots. I was like, I'll just get a cup.
Well, they have to ladle that in there.
Yeah, they do.
That's what you pay for.
And put a lid on it, and then make sure you crackers.
She's got to cut up that loaf of bread.
All the things.
That's what you pay for, man.
That's right.
It's $high stuff right there. It was chicken freaking noodle soup, too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, God damn, man.
It's expensive soup. So, the categories world's most friendly accents and soup coming up on your guess is as good as mine. What else do we have here for you? Oh, yeah. We're throwing a party. That party would be this Friday. The Men's Room World Tour, stop number 1 for 2024 at the Men's Room IPA launch party. We'll see you this Friday at Black Raven Brewery and Tap House in Woodinville. Doing the show live. Hopefully get a chance to stop by and have a Men's Room IPA on draft and hang out for an afternoon, be a part of the live program at the Black Raven Brewery and Tap House in Woodinville. Oh, yeah. And if you're looking for that beer in the stores, a lot of Safeway locations are carrying it. We'll read some emails coming up. Just look for the bright yellow can.
We went to the bar, but then I'm like, hey, let's stop by Safeway. I just want to see if the beer's there, right? The one by us, Ted. And,
all right.
So I have not been in that Safeway in years. So I roll in. Apparently, you have to buy your alcohol at a different register.
Yes, you do.
Yep. I did not know this. Don't care. Still bought it. But I went in, and I grabbed 2 Sixers there. And then because it's our beer, I did what I never do at a grocery store. I kind of restocked it, if you will.
Oh, nice.
Made the presentation.
Oh, cool.
Because when I took them out, they were kind of farther back. And I'm like, well, my wife's like, really? I go, yes, it's our beer, damn it. I want people to see it. So
just remember, the bright yellow can.
You cannot miss it. My wife today, she took the kids to, my son to some camp somewhere down in Gig Harbor. I don't know. I don't care. But either way, she let me know that she stopped, as she says, a mom and pop gas station. Not one you've heard of, be like Mike's Gas. But anyway, she went in to buy whatever, and she goes, there was your beer. You can't miss it.
That's right.
Awesome.
Also, what do we have for you? More news. If you haven't downloaded the Odyssey app, do that now. It's absolutely free. We have a brand new segment for you. As the configuration on the app changed a little bit, and instead of doing the happy hour Monday through Friday after the show, we would do a little live segment.
Right.
It was exclusive to the app. Well, they have kind of alleviated that function on the app due to whatever reason. So now we're doing a basically once a week Men's Room Happy Hour podcast. We did episode number 1 on Friday. If you happen to subscribe to the Men's Room page, that'll download automatically, I believe, for you on Friday.
All right.
So if you just subscribe to the page, all things Men's Room will be downloaded, including the brand new Happy Hour, episode number 1, as we're going to start doing that on a weekly basis. So that is there for you as well. And today is the day that we do our random question. Question 206-803-ROCK.
Random.
Hello, Danny. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola.
Hola. Danny, welcome to the program. And the random question. All right, let's see here. How about this one? What food either gives you a bad reaction, or what food out there has maybe just given you a real bad case of food poisoning, or just a bad gut situation, bad backside situation?
Not many. I mean, I guess I would just say, I try to avoid milk, like real milk. I can do ice cream, I can do cheese. For whatever reason, milk just kind of upsets my stomach.
As in whole milk?
I mean, it just has to be like cow's milk. When I was younger in middle school, I kept getting stomach aches every morning, and I thought it was stress related or something. But then I figured out it was just because I was eating cereal, and it was the milk. And I just kind of switched to almond milk or oat milk, and it went away.
I had to figure it out myself.
All right.
I did the same thing, man. I'm a kid. Same thing. Gut would cramp up. You're pooping like it's your business. And it was whole milk. Will absolutely devastate me. So I don't like skim, but 1 or 2%, I'm okay. But man, if you give me whole milk, party.
What's the stuff that your wife buys that blows you up every time when she picks it up at the coffee shop?
Oh, that's so she'll go to Starbucks and get a mocha, but the warm one, I never think about it. And man, it takes maybe 20 minutes. As soon as I finish it, you can count 20 minutes, and I'm like, oh God. Why did I do this? And it's because they use all this cream in there. But the other thing that gets me, and I always forget about it, dairy related, you just don't think of it this way, is like Alfredo sauce, right?
Oh, sure.
So she makes a mean Alfredo sauce. I'm always happy to eat it. And man, maybe 10 minutes after I eat it, it is bad news coming my way.
Yeah, food poisoning, you never...
Food poisoning can't predict.
You just don't know.
But last night, we had a very busy weekend. We're doing a lot of cooking today. Well, by we, I mean her. But last night, we're kind of worn out. We agreed, we are not cooking. We're not cooking tonight. Let's order food. Kids will be happy. We're happy. We don't have to do anything. I will not say where we ordered from, but we ordered from there before, local place. And it's good. And because it's good, I ate a lot of it. This is no lie. So my stomach's hurting a little bit before I go to bed. I finally go to bed around midnight. I got up at 6:20 this morning. Between midnight and 6:20 this morning, I pooped 6 times. I would poop. I go back to sleep. It's not like I wasn't in pain. I did not feel sick, nothing like that. But judging from the color and consistency of my stool,
it was not doing well.
Nothing good's going on. But again, I don't feel bad. So I go back to sleep. And every time I woke up to have to poop, it's one of those deals where I'm asleep, I'm having a dream about whatever. And then in the dream, you have to poop in the dream. That was each and every time. And like I was telling Ted earlier, a lot of times you wake up in the middle of the night, you got to poop, but you're like, I can sleep 3 more hours, right, before I have to deal with this. This was not that. That was the enemy is at the gate. This must be addressed right now. Like, you have 30 seconds to make a decision. So when I finally got out of bed this morning, eyes are all puffy. Wife's like, you okay? I'm like, man, I just didn't sleep. I pooped more than I slept. It was ridiculous. And then I got to work and pooped 3 more times. So when I ate the food, nothing seemed wrong with it. But that's literally the only thing I ate yesterday was this one meal. And it was so good. But I have to say goodbye. And then, Ted, you had spicy-ass chicken.
Yeah, and, that's the problem. I'm not going to say the name of the place either, because the food is awesome.
The food is good, right.
But, it was kind of the end of the weekend. I was winding down. They had a little buzz on, and I ordered sesame chicken. I did not pay attention that it said it was in a spicier sauce. And then it was very delicious, so I kept eating it. But, even right now, I just used the bathroom again, and, my backside is on fire.
Our bathroom is getting a workout today. If our toilet got paid, it would get overtime today.
But pizza, I'm not super lactose intolerant, but I know if I eat 4 pieces of pizza, my stomach's going to be a little upset.
Really?
Yeah. Huh. But the spice is just what kills me.
Have you guys?
I can still feel it.
Have you guys used the toilet paper yet that has the waves in it? As far as
doesn't make any. I've seen the commercial.
No, it just I had never seen this before personally.
Right.
I sat down to use the bathroom at someone's house. I'm like, this is really fancy toilet paper here. I've never.
I use it all the time just because that's my favorite toilet paper.
Okay.
It's the Bears toilet paper. What is it? Continental.
But I've never seen it.
Northern.
I never saw it till I sat down and I was like, this is. I've been alive for 54 years. I've never seen anything like this.
Well, Ted, does it make it? Because it's a brag point now, right? So the Bears are like, I have to wipe my dirty butt, which these Bears find very, very stressful. We acknowledge that. The wife, by the way, in this commercial, the father has clearly pooped, and he's now checking out his own ass in the mirror, and he is having a mental breakdown because it's a different toilet paper, and he does not feel that his butt is clean, which is already ridiculous. But as he's stressing about this, his wife now opens the door without knocking. It just bugs me.
That's marriage. That's
dude
marriage.
is in there pooping. You just here's your toilet paper, honey. His butt is saved. That's great. But they make it a point that it has a wavy pull instead of the.
I see it all the time because that's the toilet paper I buy.
Doesn't matter.
Does it now?
Okay.
Then they're lying.
I felt special.
All right.
The reason we asked what food poisoning or what food gives you a bad situation there, a Florida man. He went to the doctors complaining of persistent migraines, and he was found to be suffering from a parasite in his brain. The unnamed patient, who was 52, he sought some medical help after his chronic headaches became more frequent over the past 4 months, and his medications just stopped working. Well, scans showed multiple cysts in both hemispheres of his brain, as well as swelling, which infectious disease experts confirmed was the result of a pork tapeworm that had laid eggs in his brain and was irritating the tissue underneath his skull. It is believed that he contacted the illness from eating undercooked bacon after the patient told doctors about his preference for soft bacon. Now, he's from Orlando. He told doctors that his normal medications no longer stop the migraines and now occurred almost every week. He said he had not traveled outside of the country recently or eaten any raw foods, though he did prefer light-cooked, non-crispy bacon.
You know, when I was a kid, I did. Now I definitely prefer a crispy.
Me too.
I don't like it too crispy.
Not like
I like
burnt
it kind of
out.
in between.
Right. Patient's doctor believed the parasite entered his body via undercooked food, then traveled from the intestine to the brain through the bloodstream. Now, a person can catch it by swallowing the microscopic eggs passed from the feces of someone who has an intestinal pork tapeworm. This is called autoinfection.
Stop eating other people's poo.
Living with someone who has a pork tapeworm and eating food prepared by someone with one can also cause it to form in your body. So this bad boy, it can go from one person to the other.
So he could just make me a bowl of soup,
and you would get
somehow I get it because he ate undercooked bacon.
That is correct.
By the way, some people checking in. As far as those mochas tearing me up, my wife gets me one that says, hey, Starbucks uses whole milk as their default milk unless you specify that you want a different milk. Good to know. I piece that together when I'm about to poop myself. And then I don't know if this is true, Mike. Maybe you can look this up. It says, fun fact, I learned today that if you poop and there's cracks in it, which we've all seen, right? It means that particular poop has been in you for at least 7 days. Whoa. Wow. Again, I don't know if that's true. That's the information they're putting out there. Hello, Alex. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola. Alex, welcome to the program. Random question. Okay, since we're on the...
Hang on, just real quick. This is for Thrill, and I just want you to know what you think of this.
All right.
Over the years, I've noticed just how often you say the word really. So what I've been thinking is a T-shirt with your face on it, and bottom or the top in bold letters, really.
I got no problem with that. Really? I think my wife would wear that. Like, really? I married this guy.
All right. Okay, since we're talking food, let's go with this question. What food or drink do you have a hard time understanding why people actually like it?
Boba tea.
Boba tea's number one.
It's just one of those things where it doesn't register. You can't imagine why anybody would order this, enjoy it, like it, or eat it, or drink it.
That's pretty easy. That would be avocado.
All right, what's your beef with avocado?
Just early on in my life, and still to this day, it just doesn't taste good, in my opinion, and especially the texture in my mouth just feels icky.
Okay.
All right.
I think texture's a big thing.
Look, I'm not a big fruit or vegetable person. Avocados are one of the few I can stomach, and mostly because it does not have enough taste to me one way or another to be good or bad. Mm-hmm. Like, I might not actually like it. I might actually like it. I just can't quite tell. So I'm like,
I love, man, if somebody knows how to make good guac.
Good guacamole.
I am in.
For sure.
No, avocado on toast, if you like that, that's fine. I would prefer it to be, like, done right. If someone, like, some lemon juice, sometimes people put in a little mayonnaise to make it creamier.
You could add a little mayonnaise. I made a giant thing of guacamole on Saturday. I didn't use any mayo this time, but just a bunch of avocados, salt,
it's just
pepper.
not as creamy, but it's still a good taste.
Yeah,
right?
like red onions, and white onions.
Another thing, you can't force the guacamole. You got to wait for the right moment to make it. As far as the avocado, its freshness, everything else, you got to kind of wait for it to be ready for it to make you.
Yeah, I was making such a big batch, honestly, for this birthday party. I just was using the potato masher.
That
works too.
Is actually the thing. I'll tell you another one, and I know, Ted, I think you like this too, Miles. I know you do. Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper and root beer, as far as like boba tea, I get it. Either you like it because you like it.
That's the one with the big straw, right?
Yeah, because they got those big things floating in it. But like, as far as popular things go, like Dr. Pepper and root beer, they just don't make sense in my mouth.
I like root beer.
Oh, you don't also like Mountain Dew?
I don't like Mountain Dew.
See, I like Mountain Dew, I like root beer, and I like Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of people do, obviously. I don't understand.
There's not a soda out there that I can't tolerate. Grape, orange, root beer, Sprite. When I have a ginger ale.
What's the worst soda you think you've had? Even if it's by
Diet's
brand.
obviously not going to taste as good as others.
Sure.
You know what I think I don't like too much is the cherry version of just regular Coke.
No.
Whenever they do the vanilla, the cherry, whenever they try to Dr. Coke, I just like, if I'm going to have a Coke, I just want a Coke.
Cherry Coke's one of the best, Miles.
Really? If you like it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not a big fruit guy. So the flavor of fruit, I like bananas, but that's not really
I like bananas. My wife thinks that bananas are disgusting.
You like grape and orange soda?
I do. I just don't like it with the flavor of the Coke for some reason.
Oh, the cherry.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge cherry Coke guy, but like once a year, it's like, let's get a cherry Coke.
What about like the Pepsi Clear, Pepsi Crystal, whatever it's called? I did not think it was that bad.
It might not have
been.
I don't think I tried.
People hated it, and it didn't bother me. As far as the guy who doesn't like avocados, we get 2 texts on both sides of the fence. First one says, this guy needs Jesus.
Cool.
So I think this person likes avocados.
Jesus.
The other person says, avocados are goddamn booger bears.
I think it also depends on age. Because I didn't really start eating avocados like my early 30s, and now I'm one of those people like, I love guacamole, and I would add avocado to like any sandwich.
I know there's a lot of things with that. So apparently when you were born, your taste buds are as sensitive as they're ever going to be. And just like getting calluses on your fingers, they kind of grind down and lose their sensitivity over time. So it's hard to convince kids to eat onions a lot, unless it's an onion ring. But then when they get older, they love onions, garlic, all that kind of thing.
Reason we ask what food or drink do you have a hard time understanding why other people like. California may try to ban decaf coffee, which is one of those things I just don't understand why people drink. I get it if you have heart issues.
I'm with you.
All those things. My mom drinks it exclusively, but the issue is that the manufacturers, they use methylene chloride to remove caffeine from the coffee beans.
I don't know what that is, but it doesn't sound good.
That's paint stripper.
Jesus, God.
Guess what? That's not good. It's a carcinogen. And after being linked to several cancers, including blood and breast cancer, coffee manufacturers, they argue the chemicals completely washed out of the beans after treatment. But yeah,
you're the one to trust.
They first use paint stripper. Plus, any remnants would be burned off when the beans are heated to 400 degrees during the roasting process. They also say that too. But they have done studies on this. 10 out of 25 of the decaf coffee brands that are major, they all contained heavy levels of the chemical, like Amazon Fresh and Kroger's being the worst offenders. Even then the levels were low, did not exceed the FDA's max level for safety. It's still paint stripper. The bill in California has several hurdles to clear before it becomes maybe a law. If it does, the state will ban all decaf coffees using this chemical by 2027. If there's a different way to do it.
Hey, but there's no caffeine.
Yeah. The overwhelming weight of independent scientific evidence shows that drinking decaf is in fact safe. But either way, they're just trying to be cautious. More of the Random Question on the way. 206-803-ROCK.
At Metro, get an iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system for $99.99. Take amazing pictures and share them instantly. And don't put up with life's yada yada. Yada yada. Like photo bombers. Zoom, crop out, yada yada. And bye.
You don't take yada yada in life, don't take yada yada from your wireless provider. Get iPhone 12 with 5G with no activation fees and nada yada yada. Only at Metro by T-Mobile. Switch to Metro, bring your ID. This offer isn't available for customers currently at T-Mobile or that have been with Metro in the past 180 days.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
There are any number of reasons you might consider selling your home. That's where an agent who is a realtor comes in to navigate the process to sell your home in a way that's right for you. Because that's who we are. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors.
Recess recreated the cocktails you know and love, like a lime margarita and a grapefruit paloma, but without the alcohol. So you can enjoy the flavors and feelings of your favorite drinks without the hangover. Each lightly sparkling canned mocktail is infused with functional ingredients and made with real fruit, all with only 25 calories or less. So whether you're relaxing after work or hanging out with friends, Recess Zero Proof Craft Mocktails are a guilt-free way to unwind. Head to takearecess.com/mocktails now to get 15% off the Recess Mocktails Sampler Pack.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
It is our Random Question. Get in there. 206-803-ROCK.
They're talking about foods or drinks that other people like and you just can't understand. Well, they do. People, they weighed in. We started talking about sodas. Somebody says, because Miles, you said, man, I pretty much like every soda. They said, try a prebiotic soda before you decide you like all sodas. Never even heard of such a thing.
No.
Then somebody here said, I had a celery soda the other day. It was damn good. To which I responded, you're clearly a liar. They say, hey, man, don't knock it till you try it. And you're right, but here's the thing. I will not knock it, but I'm also not going to try it. Regarding Dr. Pepper, somebody says, somebody told me one time that Dr. Pepper tastes like barbecue water, and I taste barbecue sauce every time I drink it.
Well, it's huge in Texas.
That's for sure.
We were also talking about what causes the cracks to end up in your poo, as it were.
Right. Somebody said in the text, what if there's cracks in your poop, which you've all had, it's been in your body for 7 days.
So that's not entirely inaccurate. According to Health Digest here, it says that it might actually be caused by you being constipated, dehydrated, or spending too much time while seated. And they actually do say that while healthy bowel movements usually occur every day or once every few days, cracked stool does indicate that waste has been residing in the digestive tract for about a week.
Oh, it makes sense.
Okay.
Well, how do they describe a healthy stool?
Ooh.
Right? Because everyone, generally, we know how
I think when you look down, you know.
Right, but
you know.
But like anything, if
that's a good-looking turd. Right
you're used to the way you poop, but that doesn't mean it's healthy. You may have been unhealthy your entire life.
So it says normal poops are soft, brown, sausage-shaped, and about as wide as a banana. They're also smooth, don't break apart when flushed, and measure about 4 to 8 inches in length.
Don't break apart when flushed.
Yeah.
Huh.
Okay.
Now I got to keep my eye on that. Like every time I flush, I never think to look at that. You will look to see what you've done so you can gauge your own health.
Well,
right?
and obviously there are certain ways that it dives into the toilet that I don't think that you can really avoid it breaking in half. But I don't feel like I've ever seen one just kind of bust off the ship, as it were, when it when it hits the water, when it's flushed.
No, I don't think I've never thought to look. Now I'm going to. Hello, JP. Welcome to the men's room.
Well, we're going to go with JC.
JC. Welcome to the men's room. Hola.
Yes.
I love you guys. Hola.
Well, thank you, JC. Appreciate it. Okay, let's go with this one. You got some good taste, right? Hair, boobs, butts, legs, hair. What do you find hot on another person? What is something that you find to be attractive?
Yeah, I got to pick one of those. I can't just the whole package.
Look at it like this,
together.
right? A lot of times you'll look at someone and you go, that person is very attractive to me. We know their face is good looking to you. Mm-hmm. You're going to look at it. Then they get up and walk away and think, man, they have no butt. Or you'll see someone who you don't necessarily find that attractive and you get up and you're like, that is a fantastic ass. Or they have great boobs. Or she has no boobs. Or I like small boobs. Like there's
pretty face,
right.
Great hair.
Once you've kind of established you find their face attractive, there's usually somewhere you go right after that.
Yeah, man, that's tough. It's like, I guess I'm an ass man.
You are an ass man.
JC, I'll give you one right now. For whatever reason, scrubs.
Oh, like you're talking about the nurse uniform, right?
Look, you could be a veterinary tech assistant. I don't care. If you're in scrubs.
Scrubs are hot.
Yeah.
Scrubs are sexy, man. Oh, yeah, that's a big turn on.
Why do we find scrubs sexy? Because the clothing itself is... Because the clothing itself is not sexy. I feel like we associate the people wearing them.
Friday show,
being
two
down.
hot nurses. What were they wearing?
Right.
One hot doctor.
Yeah.
Right. All these people, they're all wearing scrubs for whatever reason.
Because they're like pajamas, kind of. It's like they're in pajamas all day long.
Mm-hmm. Going to work.
Okay.
All right.
So you're a scrubs guy. So if you like
any
scrubs,
uniform, really like a cop, a sexy cop uniform,
What do you think it is about uniforms that people? Because if someone is sexy and they're wearing a uniform, yes, they make the uniform look sexy. But there's women that say, UPS guy, doesn't matter what he looks like. He rolls in that brown turd uniform.
Did you happen
to
Did you happen to see the blonde officer in the Munich airport who was walking outside with a machine gun?
I did see her
with a tight hair. Man, oh man! Wow,
specific.
Yes,
please
it was.
arrest me.
Yes, exactly.
There are some specific. If you like scrubs and you're an ass man, she does not work in this building, but she'll come over to get coffee at the Starbucks here, probably twice a week. She's the woman for you, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Without a doubt.
What time? What time should I be stopping by?
It's random, and also it's important that you like people that don't smile. I do not think she has the ability to do that.
No.
Well, it's tough too, because there's like some women are just hot.
Sure.
Some are pretty. There's some that are beautiful, and then there's some women who honestly I don't know if you find them that attractive. There's just something sexy about them.
Jennifer Tilly,
right?
Oh yeah, I love Jennifer Tilly.
Right. I don't know that if she walked into a bar and we did not know who she was, that you'd even give her a second look. But somehow, just the role, and I don't know what kind of person she is. It's just the roles that she's played in Hollywood. You're like, yeah, I can't explain
there was a
it.
blonde woman with face tattoos. When I was coming back from getting lunch, she was pretty attractive. It was a giant tattoo. She had a nice butt, but I was like, you're coming from the courthouse. Like, you're bad.
Oh, yeah. You're bad.
Yes. Well, the reason we asked hair.
Seriously, Mike, that was my first thought. Like, hey, you did
bad.
something.
Legs. What is it that you find hot on another person?
Someone here says a woman that's wearing coveralls and working as a mechanic. Damn sexy. Very specific, but damn sexy.
They say there are many ways that people can make a little extra cash, and one man saw the perfect opportunity to make some money. And it's all thanks to his dirty feet. George Woodville has not worn shoes since 2021, and he now makes the most of his grubby feet and sells photos of them on his OnlyFans page for extra cash. He is 21 years old. He has embraced the barefoot lifestyle, and by doing so, has managed to meet the love of his life, Roseanne. The reason for the lifestyle change was due to George struggling with his mental health and claiming he wanted to experience the whole ground.
Okay.
And when he says he threw all his shoes away, he recalled how his family thought he'd gone off the rails. But now he manages to cash in on his feet, as well as it doing wonders for his well-being. So since taking to social media, George has accumulated thousands of fans who all gave him the idea to start his OnlyFans account. Now he makes between $500 to $1,000 a month in extra cash for his foot photos, mostly out in public places, like on a train or in a cafe.
Yeah.
This is when he met Roseanne, who was 20, and the pair claimed it was love at first sight. And despite her new boyfriend not wearing shoes, she did not seem to mind. Roseanne then started going barefoot as well, just after a few months of the pair dating. But it's not all been plain sailing, they say. A couple revealed they have been turned away from places for being barefoot, admitted they've had to resort to playing the medical card to get into restaurants and shops.
What do you think the medical angle is you use for not wearing shoes?
I don't know.
And both of you have this condition. That's what you're telling me.
We don't mind it as much if we get glass or anything in our feet anymore. I've stood on that quite a few times, but I've always been okay. Doesn't stop me from going anywhere that we can't live in fear of something happening whenever we leave the house. And I think that applies basically to our whole life. I look at life as a place where, like we're here on a desert island with no idea of what is seen as normal. If we want to be barefoot, then we should do so. There are a lot of worse things we could be doing. I'm lucky to have met Roseanne and that we could do this together. Love of my life. I don't think either of us are thinking of stopping this lifestyle anytime soon. Now, when it comes to people's reactions, he claimed it can be one way or the other and said strangers are generally one way or the other. They either think it's great or just so against it and think it's really weird. Sometimes we get people to come up to us and say, wow, you guys are really inspirational, and it's so cool what you do. I think the fact that we're a couple and doing it, it kind of makes it a little bit more of a spectacle. But he doesn't seem bothered as he knows he makes money from his dirty feet and added, it keeps me financially afloat. I'm not bothered about what other people think or what they get out of watching my videos, like with people who have a foot fetish, for example, a foot fetish. For me, it's all art and creativity. And then there are people who appreciate the creativity in whatever way that you can imagine. For his future plans, George hopes one day he could have his own Netflix documentary and travel around the world while barefoot.
I mean, hey, man, if people are willing to spend money on it, why the hell not?
Trying to remember when, I think maybe around 22, 21 years old. I think those were the last of my barefoot days. As far as going outside.
Sure.
Walking around the yard, whatever the deal is.
I find it makes a massive difference where you live.
It does.
So I lived upstate New York. No problem if you went out barefoot. Almost all my friends came outside barefoot during the summer, right? Don't give it a thought, but you live out in the woods, man. So there's no real sidewalks to walk on. There really wasn't a lot of litter. I mean, you walk down the street, your feet were gross, but then you're out in the woods, you're in someone's yard. And then we moved to Baltimore. There's no effing chance.
Yeah.
I don't want to step on chicken bones, used condoms, needles, and everything else that just chewed gum, discarded Cheetos. I mean, you name it. If it's a product you can buy in the store, the trash can apparently was the sidewalk.
My kids are in their mid-20s at this point. When they were in their lower 20s, they would be on my couch. And I would look down and like, Kate, what the hell's going on with the bottom of your... You collect dirt with your feet? Get your feet off my freaking couch and go upstairs and get in a bathtub with a shower and wash your goddamn feet.
Yes.
Right now. Kid, you are an adult. The other kid would come over. She'd get on the couch. I'm like, what in the F is going on? Are you bottom of your feet like a magnet for every piece of dirt and grime in the world? Like, get off my couch, go upstairs, take a shower, and wash your dank ass feet.
Right.
I mean, like, what are you doing?
It's gross.
I know you're Birkenstock wearing kids and all that stuff, but dude, what's
still clean your feet?
With your feet? Like, have you not bathed this week? I mean, surely just by standing in the shower, some of that will come off without even scrubbing it.
Yeah, my son's in that boat. He tries to be as naked as he can at all possible times, right? So I call him Tarzan. Come over to the house, man, pair of shorts, that's it. And it doesn't matter if it's the winter, it does not matter if it's the summer. But even in the wintertime, if it is a clear day, doesn't matter, it's 25 degrees outside, but sun's out, he wants to go shoot hoops. I'm like, you can go shoot hoops. Will not put on a shirt, doesn't put on a jacket, doesn't put on shoes. Then I have to go out there and say, man, look, I don't care what you do, but at this point, it's just optics, okay? So I'm not trying to look like a terrible parent or that I don't buy you clothes. Can you please put on a pair of shoes? You don't have to put on pants. You can stay in shorts, but put on a shirt, long sleeve, preferably, sweatshirt, and put on shoes. That's all.
Right.
You run around.
There's no barefoot league.
Nothing bugs him. None of that. He went to a camp today. It's 2 nights that he's up there. And I wake up to my wife arguing with him, saying, just bring a goddamn jacket for me. He never wants to wear a jacket. So he finally acquiesced. He's going to bring a jacket, but I noticed what he did. So they're getting ready to leave. He gives me a big hug. And instead of putting the jacket on, he did the thing where he ties it around his waist. I'm like, all right. So his whole thing is, I will take it, but I don't guarantee I'm going to wear it. And I've made that deal with him a million times, even going to school. Like, look, I don't care if you wear it. If you're cold, that's a decision that you made. That's called live and learn. Just take it with you. I don't want an email from the teacher going, do you love your child enough to provide him a jacket? Like, that's it. Yep. Stuff it in your bag. And seriously, man, I've done it for him. Because when he gets home, he'll pull it out. He tries to hide it somewhere. I've always got my eye on him, man. Pull it back, stuff it right back in his bag. That way, when he goes to school, the jacket is there with them.
All right, we had to just reset our phone lines there, so if you're on hold for the random question, give us a call back at 206-803-RANDOM.
Yeah, and you need the jacket with you. Like, look, I did it in Vegas for that F1 race, right?
And you were thinking.
I was more like your son, and I was like, look, I got a nice button-up on. I don't need a jacket. And everybody's like, take a jacket. I'm like, I don't need a jacket. And they're like, take a jacket. And like halfway through the race, I thought I nonchalantly was just putting it on. Like two of my buddies like, told you needed that effing jacket.
It's the desert in the sun.
Mm-hmm. Like,
I fight this battle with my kid all the time. Years ago, man, we took him to Niagara Falls. It's one of those things I wanted them to see. So no matter your age, you're going to kind of remember it. So we did the Maid of the Mist. And the Maid of the Mist is you actually get on a boat that takes you not into the falls, but
as close
enough.
as you can get.
And the thing, that water is smashing down so hard. It's hard to explain if you've never been there. It is so misty, you think you're about to go into the falls and die. Boat starts rocking, and it's about 95 degrees this day. It is hot. It is humid. But they give you ponchos, the blue tarp, when you get out there. And my wife has this argument with my son again, because that's the conversation they have. And I'm in the poncho. She's in the poncho. His sister's in the poncho. He doesn't want to put it on, and I understood his position. He said, Mom, it is really, really hot. Like, we're sweating just wearing, for him, muscle shirt, because much like Duff McKagan, not a big fan of sleeves either, right? So he's got his shorts and all this, and they are going back and forth. Meanwhile, the boat, it's headed toward the falls. They're going back and forth on this, and they're both getting really, really testy about it. And finally, I kind of nudge my wife, and I go, hey, man, this is a teachable moment. I don't care if he puts it on or not. There's a certain point where enough water starts dumping into the boat, and I mean this honest to God. It's like someone took a 100-gallon drum of water and just dumps it straight out there. And his little fro melted down. He couldn't get that goddamn poncho on fast enough, right?
Oh, yeah.
So we finished the trip, and then my daughter and wife, they go to the bathroom. I take my son. We're going to the other bathroom. And I kind of poke his shoulder, and I go, hey, man, see, when your mom's telling you stuff like that, she's not being mean. She's looking out for you, because the only person now bitching about being wet is you. Mm-hmm. That's why you put on the poncho. Got it? I got it. There you go. I'm not going to fight you on it. Just suffer.
And a poncho's easy.
He got it on real quick, man. Real quick. Hello, Luke. Welcome to the men's room.
Hello.
Hola.
Luke, welcome to the program. Random question. All right, let's go with this one. What was the dumbest or the most dangerous thing that you did as a teenager that, maybe had the potential to really injure you, if not kill you? Like, what was just the dumb thing you did?
Well, that's funny, because I really didn't have anything dumb I did. Well, there was one instance where I almost stabbed another student, which could have gotten me arrested. But other than that, nothing really.
All right.
So why were you almost going to stab another student?
Well, he called my mom the C word and told me she wishes she had an abortion.
All right. And
that's called being a teenager, bro. And I get it, but you hear that. But
instead of punching him in the face, you immediately went to the knife well.
No, I had a pair of scissors in my hand.
Ah, a pair of scissors. Okay.
All right. So how old were you when this went down?
I think I was like 15.
All right. That's about the age that kind of thing is said. Look, I got punched in the mouth talking about people's mother, but it was all between the ages of 14 and 17. And on the side note, in every instance that I spoke ill of someone's mother, I had never met their mother. But that was the height of the yo mama jokes.
Yeah.
Never seen your mother a day in my life, but don't talk about my mother. It's like, well, it's a mama joke, dude. I don't know how to switch this up.
I just think basically jumping off of bridges was one.
Sure.
We would make our own munitions, so to speak. That was stupid. We could have blown a hand off, or even worse, blinded ourselves based on some of the crap we did.
We used to play football in front of my grandma's house in D.C., and if you went to the sidelines, you just run into a car.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, I feel like everything we did in our teen years leaned that way. The people that you chose to mouth off to.
Right.
Whether they're packing heat or not, but it's back down to you, right? That was stupid. I don't recommend that. Things you would get involved in that I still will not talk about now, but it's like, man, we put ourselves in exceptional danger. But for some reason, that was the rush of it.
No,
if it wasn't dangerous, it wasn't interesting.
Just getting to baseball practice or a game after school, jumping into the back of someone's pickup truck.
Yeah.
Getting on an interstate when you're going 65 miles an hour and I'm sitting on the wheel well in the back of the truck. I mean, that's just how you got there. And when you look at it in hindsight, man, that's idiotic. That is stupid.
Everything.
But there was 6 guys in the back of the truck.
Yeah, you wouldn't think about it.
We used to have state troopers that passed us, when we were all full
they
uniform.
didn't care.
They were just like, hey, man, UHS, go guys.
Right.
I'm like, all right, yeah, whatever. The reason we asked what was the dumbest and the most dangerous thing you did as a teen. It could have killed you. 14-year-old subway surfer was injured on a Brooklyn subway train in the latest injury from the social media craze of surfing on top of trains. The young daredevil fell from an elevated position on the F train at 4th and 9th at about 1:30 in the afternoon. They got a call from 911 about a conscious, responsive 14-year-old boy inside the train who was suffering from a head laceration and chest and neck pain. They brought him to a hospital in New York where he's listed in stable condition, according to cops.
I was going to say it's a new trick. Like, man, that's been going on as long as there's been trains. It's just now you can put it on video.
More of the Random Question coming up, 206-803-ROCK.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops. When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
From executive producer Jimmy Kimmel.
What's up, team? Just two people can't launch a brand. It takes a village.
We are MMD Hollywood.
Wow,
which stands for medical marijuana.
Due to restrictions, we can't tell you everything about our new reality series. But what we can say is the idea behind it is fully baked.
I don't know.
High Hopes. Streaming 4/20 on Hulu.
Bring excitement to your landscape with proven winners, Color Choice Shrubs. These flowering shrubs and evergreens have been trialed and tested by experts to make sure they look better and bloom better, so they're just as easy to care for as what's in your landscape now, but a whole lot more colorful and interesting. Look for proven winners, Color Choice Shrubs, in the distinctive white container at your local garden center, or learn more at provenwinnerscolorchoice.com.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops. When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
At Metro, get an iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system for $99.99. Take amazing pictures and share them instantly. And don't put up with life's yada yada.
Yada yada.
Like photo bombers. Zoom, crop out,
Yada yada.
and bye.
You don't take yada yada in life, don't take yada yada from your wireless provider. Get iPhone 12 with 5G with no activation fees and nada yada yada. Only at Metro by T-Mobile. Switch to Metro, bring your ID. This offer isn't available for customers currently at T-Mobile or that have been with Metro in the past 180 days.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
99.9 KISW. We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
It is the Random Question, 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Dean. Welcome to the men's room. Hola.
Hola. Dean, welcome to the program. We're doing good, man. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing fabulous.
All right. Let's see, Dean, what do we have for you? Okay. What would you say, Dean, was your worst subject growing up when you were in school?
Math. But the crazy thing is, after
I got into a crazy accident with my brain injury. It's the one thing I can do really correctly now. Yeah. Because I was OCD after my accident.
Okay.
I was 22 when I got hit by a car. And so I could not admit to myself that I walked out in front of the car. I had to blame it on the number. And so I was superstitious and really OCD about the number 2 and the number 22.
All right. So certain things definitely specifically hit different now since your accident.
Oh, yeah, everything's different now.
Okay. Are there some positives? Obviously, better math skills. That's a positive.
Just in time to not be in school. Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I'm trying to see the glass half full nowadays.
Well, that's a good thing.
It's hard. I talk to therapists, psychologists, psychiatrists, and I've got a very good mental health team.
Okay. That's
so
important.
Was this the case before the accident, or is all of this strictly after the accident?
What'd you say?
Were you talking to all these people before the accident as well, or is all of this a result of the accident?
No, this is all a result of the accident.
And how many years ago was that?
15.
15 years. Okay. Were you a pedestrian, or did you get hit while you were driving?
No, I was a pedestrian. I was running across the street, running away from a dirty girl.
We've talked to you before. I remember you, Dean.
I know you have.
Well, I know you know that you have. I'm saying I now remember that.
Are you trying to say that you try to get across 5 lanes of traffic on Aurora?
No, I was trying to get across the little kid. I was trying to get across the little country back road. And I said, bitch, this is going to be the last time you ever speak for me again. And I ran across the street and I got hit by a car.
Yeah, well, you were close.
Almost added up to it.
Yeah, you did.
Hey,
Okay.
you remember talking to Dean?
No.
You don't? Okay, so once he said running away from a dirty girl, that is the key phrase where I'm like, we talked to him, 5-6 years ago maybe? And it was the same scenario. He had been in a car accident and he got hit running away from, an exact quote, running away from a dirty girl. And at the end of our first call with him all those years ago, we never exactly found out what a dirty girl. We don't know if she was a meth head. We don't know if she's a prostitute or just some chick who was a skank that he didn't like. We never found out, but we also knew better than to ask.
Right.
All right. But yeah.
Dean used to call me in my college radio days.
Are you kidding?
No, not at all. I remember him.
So you were what, Big Mike? Is that what it was?
Big Mike down there at KGRG 89.9 in Auburn at Green River Community College, and yeah, he'd call me every day.
What shift did you? What shift did they give you?
Oh shoot! Honestly, the memories are just starting to come back on Facebook. So, my shift, I think I had Sunday afternoons, like 3 to 6 or something like that, and then I had a regular shift during the week, and I think it was like Mondays at 2, something like that. I don't.
What time?
Well, you have affected Dean because we never talked to Dean until you got here. I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah,
this guy's been following you, Mike.
Yes.
Running from now. Did he tell you that same story, or at least the dirty girl part?
No, I just knew that he had gotten into an accident. A lot of the other jocks on there, everybody had heard from Dean. He called everybody, and he was a huge supporter of KGRG down there. And so we had all talked to him, and we knew that he had gotten into an accident. I just hadn't heard the extent.
He's running from a dirty girl.
What was the frequency? Do your thing. I'm Big Mike on. What was it?
Big Mike on 89.9 KGRG FM, Green River Community College. Today's Rocket HD.
All right, HD. Yeah. That's cool. I don't even know if we have that. Probably do. The reason we asked, what was your worst subject in school? Stressed Chinese parents are reportedly suffering heart attacks and strokes while helping their children with homework.
I understand that.
Especially math.
I understand that.
One evening in January, Miss Dong, a 40-year-old mother of 2, was helping one of her sons with his math homework when Dong said she lost her cool because the child did not understand a problem. Now, soon after the outburst, the woman felt a splitting headache, followed by vomiting. She tried to lay down for a few hours. Her condition did not improve. So she went to a hospital, and after a thorough examination and a CAT scan, Dong was diagnosed with spontaneous hemorrhage of the brain, a minor stroke, most likely caused by constant long-term stress. The outburst while tutoring her son was just the final nail in the coffin, she said, but this is a scenario that is becoming worryingly more frequent in Chinese society. In 2019...
Chinese society? How about right here in Seattle?
A mother got so worked up because her son couldn't solve a math problem that she suffered a heart attack. Such a case was virtually unheard of. But the following year, another story about a 45-year-old man who reportedly suffered a heart attack after getting angry while helping his son with homework. Since then, stories of parents suffering strokes and heart attacks while helping their kids with homework have become commonplace. A similar story reported last month, a 37-year-old woman tutoring her fourth grade son in math when she became upset that the boy appeared confused after she had explained the problem countless times. The woman suppressed her boiling anger, but only made her high blood pressure worse and go even higher. And at one point, she said she felt a mild pain in her chest and started having trouble breathing. So she decided to lie down and called her sixth grade son to help his brother with the math while she rested on the couch. But after seeing that the younger boy still did not understand, she got angry again and tried getting up to re-enter the fray to help, so to speak. At that point, she felt a sharp pain in her chest and fell to the floor, started sweating profusely, and had trouble breathing and moving. Her sons called the father to help, and he phoned an ambulance. And after being rushed to the hospital, she was diagnosed with an aortic dissection and scheduled for emergency surgery, where doctors found a puncture of about 2 centimeters in the posterior wall of her aorta, as well as a high number of thrombi. After 7 hours, doctors managed to fix the tear, and the woman's condition became stable.
Man, I get it. I get it. And it's always going to be math. Trying to teach your kids math, right? Not teaching them math, but they start moving. There's two things at work. One, they move really quickly through school now from one kind of math to the other. So trying to teach your kids to do the latest problem would be the equivalent of trying to teach someone who does not know their ABCs how to read, right? If they don't already have this fundamental thing down, whatever you explain after that, it doesn't make any sense. The other problem is the way they teach math now, whatever the federal mandate is, and I don't know how many years it's been, but certainly since I've been in school, is entirely different than how we learned it, okay? So it's not that. The biggest problem is they want to have you show your work. And we understand they want you to show your work. So if you F up the problem, they know where you went wrong. So my wife and I will look at these problems, and I'm like, I know the answer. My wife says, I know the answer. But based on...
You're not working the problem correctly to show that you know the work.
Right. I don't understand how to do the equation, right? It's a real easy answer. And even my son will be like, I know the answer. What's the answer? And he'll tell me, I'm like, how did you get there? And he'll explain his process. The problem is the process that he uses, which is how we were taught in school back in our day, which in my mind is simple math, is not what they want them to write down. So the struggle is trying to figure out the equation. So we always make these notes on his homework. Like, look, he did this himself. He figured out these answers himself. We're not sure exactly what the equation is that you want to see, but even when the kids were real young, first, second grade, they basically teach them the metric system. Everything is divisible by 10. That's everything. But we don't use the metric system. So the way they taught us in school was, look, either you figured out how to multiply or you didn't. But it wasn't, show us the work, this many grids by 10. And I'm like, bro, I don't know what to do to help you. You know the answers, and you can do it in your head. But the problem is you don't get full credit unless you write down whatever this stuff is the teacher wants to see.
Well, and that's been my problem with it, is that it's not necessarily of you know, do you know how to multiply one thing to the next?
It's not that.
You need to go through this process that will show you the answer. But there's a handful of different methods that you can do to get to the answer. But you
they
have to
this
do
specific
this
one.
one.
And that's what's frustrating. So a lot of times we end up on phone calls with other parents where we're all trying to noodle it out. Because their kids are sitting at their dining room table, they're pissed off, and you're going to hear the kids pissing and moaning. So what's crazy is with homework, math is the only one that's stressful. The other ones, you just have to get them to do it, right? You have a book report due. Hey, finish the book. You know how to read.
And most adults just haven't done any of that stuff in so long.
You have not done it since you were in the grade that your kid is currently in when they did it. Right. Mm-hmm. Right? Because I remember my dad, when I was in 7th grade, man, we started doing algebra and all those letters and all that kind of crap popped up.
Oh, my God.
My father's sitting at that table, and he's a calm dude, but I could break him. And I wasn't trying to. I'm like, man, I truly do not understand what it is you're trying to tell me.
I could break
him. Yeah. And I didn't want to. It wasn't fun, but it's like, I don't understand. Hello, Rob. Welcome to the men's room.
Liquor and whores.
Liquor and whores.
Rob, welcome to the program. Random question. Okay. Here's your hypothetical. You wake up tomorrow and your bank account is full of millions of dollars. You are rich. It just happened overnight. For whatever reason, you get to keep the money. What would be the first kind of luxury item or thing? Obviously, if you want to pay off your mortgage, we get that. But as far as just doing something that you've always wanted to have for yourself, selfishly, what would you go out and buy?
Oh, hell.
What wouldn't I buy?
I'd probably just get a brand new truck.
All right, but what kind of truck are you getting?
I just got going to be 25 or 3,500 Duramax.
I was going to say, I get the feeling
it's fully loaded.
It's got to start with a 3, and it's the one they show in the commercial. Because when they show the commercials, man, you're like, man, it's a badass car, a badass truck. And then you read the fine print, like, this is with every single thing available.
Is that $70,000? How much is that?
Anywhere between 70 and 100,000.
Wow!
And of course, I would have to big D at the dealership and just hand him a wad of cash.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the you know what you want. It's just you can't get it with the bells and whistles. So now you got a truck. You still got some cash left. What are you buying next?
100 acres out in the middle of nowhere and saying goodbye to everybody.
All right.
Wow.
Okay. Here's the plan.
About.
Yep.
What are you buying first, Miles? Let's assume you pay off your mortgage, whatever that case is, right? To me, that's foregone. I'm getting a house in Mazatlan.
I think I would.
It's not going to be there all the time, but winter or Christmas rolls around, the weather's absolute garbage. Like, I can go there, but it's not, other than my plane tickets, it doesn't cost me to be there. And I'm close to the beach.
My first thing I'd splurge on would be one of those bad-ass golf simulators, like the kind when we went to.
That would be good for you, man. Yes.
We went to Top Golf in Kirkland, the lounge.
Would you do what they did and have it so you could also do soccer?
Awesome. Yes.
And hockey. Yes. So the full thing.
It'd be like a big-ass Wii, essentially.
God, that's not a bad call, man.
To some degree, I could kick soccer balls into it, do the hockey thing, do the football game. I'm sure there's many games we didn't play when we were up there. But
that's not a bad call.
Look, man, I'm going to go play Pebble Beach later on this year. So I'm going to go there and play the golf course into that screen.
Right, play it. Yeah.
So that when I go and actually play the course, I'll have a better idea. Just the layout and be realistic about, kind of knowing where problems are, where bunkers are.
The simulators are pretty awesome. Because my buddy's dad during the pandemic, and he's done one in life, he put one in, I don't know, one part of the garage. It's like a 4-car garage, but it's pretty awesome.
How much time did you spend on it?
We went in there a lot.
Yeah, if someone has it and you don't, you're absolutely. Look, man, you bought me the Wii U as a wedding gift, and Wii Sports is the thing I played all the frickin' time. I don't know what it is about that stuff, but you get super into it, man.
I played golf with a guy about a month and a half ago or whatever. He was in from out of town. The Chambers Bay golf course was one that he's always wanted to play.
All right.
And he said, man, I've been looking forward to this forever. And I was like, well, awesome. You're going to have a great time. This is a beautiful golf course. We're on the first frickin' hole. He hits a drive, all right? And he hits it right down the middle. And so he pulls out his 5-wood. And typically people will take a rangefinder to look and see how far they are out. He's like, I'm about 215 out. I know I need to hit a kind of a baby 5-wood. All right, fair enough. I thought you said you never played here before. He's like, dude, I played the simulator like 100 times.
Oh,
he's like, I know exactly what to hit on every hole. And this is exactly where I am on every drive. He's like, and I'm like, for real, this like translated over in real life. And he's like, well, yeah, it always does. And I was like, I'll be damned.
It's funny when you talk to people.
Have you seen what's happening in racing?
No.
Like there was that movie a while ago, Gran Turismo, but yeah, those sims are so authentic that like there's a dude that runs a NASCAR now, and like he started off doing that and got really good at it, and finally somebody was like, let's put him in a car, and now after a couple of years, like he's actually pretty decent and he's on the highest level.
Do the other guys resent him for that, or is that kind of cool that he did?
However you get your training, man.
Like I think they resent that he makes some poor choices sometimes.
Okay, that's fair.
Because obviously crashing out other people in a real car is a bigger deal.
In the real world, it's much different.
But I mean, even for F1, right? Like Daniel Ricciardo, like he didn't have a seat last year. He was like Red Bull's third driver, and he just kept working in the sim, and then finally they were like, go take a lap, and he did awesome. So now he's got a seat again this year.
All right, and this plays mostly into miles. Say you get your flight simulator, all right? But this is your 747, not the Cessna, which I think we could all die equally in that. This is a 747, right? It's your dream scenario. For whatever reason, our co-pilot's dead, the captain's dead. Does anyone know how to fly a plane? And Miles pops up and says, hey, much like the movie Gran Turismo, ladies and gentlemen, I have successfully landed a 747 15 times on my simulator.
Do I have the tower in my ear?
You definitely have the tower
All right,
in your ear.
okay, advantage.
But you've done the simulator, so you've landed 15 times successfully. Doesn't matter how many times
I'm
you try.
not flying into Heathrow or anything sideways or anything crazy like that. Right?
No, it's low wind, long runway.
All right, I'll give it a shot.
Because the chances are, if the tower's in your ear, like, we're going to give you the longest runway possible. What's your confidence level? You're like, I got this. I got this.
Man, I would be fired up to give it a shot.
Without being in the simulator, Miles is fired up to give it a shot.
Yeah, right? Oh, yeah, man. I want to get in there and do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's a big-ass plane. I just got to figure out, I need all that runway.
Miles, I'm going to tell you right now, if that happens and you're like, I'll do this, when we get to a certain level, I'm going to tell everyone, I'm going to pick up that intercom, like the flight attendant, like, some of us are going to get sucked out of this plane, so I'm popping this emergency.
Oh, my God.
I'm not landing. Because, look, I'm going to risk crashing into the ground versus going up in flames.
If Miles goes to the cockpit, I'm running to the back and grabbing as many minis of Jack Daniels as I can, and I'm downing every damn one of them.
Like we're at a bar in Anchorage. I can't remember. I think it was the night before we were going to leave. We're at the bar at the Marriott, and we're talking to this guy beside us. What do you do? I'm a pilot. Oh, no kidding. That's awesome. Yeah, I fly to China and back. And what do you fly? 747. Oh, man, that's badass. What airline do you fly for? Well, I'm actually a freight carrier. I fly for, I can't remember if it was FedEx or UPS.
One of those two.
I think it was FedEx, but I'm not exactly mistaken. He tells us his name. So we get back to Seattle, and he basically said, listen, I can't remember what time it was. It was earlier in the evening, and he made the comment at like 7:30, 8 o'clock, this is my last drink. Because
I got to fly.
I'm a pilot, and I have to fly tomorrow in the afternoon, or whatever the deal was, okay? So he had to cut himself off then. Whatever. All right, so he leaves. Now, I remember a guy's name.
Like, he was putting it down. He cut himself off, but it's not like he was not hammered.
No, he was fine. Like, he was just like, I got to stop, right? So we're sitting in the office one day, and I'm looking at this footage from a news source. And the 747 is cartwheeling down the runway in, like, Singapore. I mean, it's like, doom, 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 doom.
Oh, it was bad,
End
dude.
over end.
Like, the footage is real. Like, it's the worst kind of crash you've seen.
Over end. Like a cartwheel in a 7. Needless to say, our buddy at the bar, I don't think he made it.
Yeah, that was him. Say, maybe he didn't cut himself off.
Doom, 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 doom. I was like, damn, dude. See, in my case, I think, like, I got this. I could have done a better job than that.
Well, I could do a better job than
I'd have belly skidded it in or something, anything. Not wing over wing.
I like that that's your thought. Yeah, maybe
wing.
I could do better than that.
Yeah, like I should have told him, like, dude, let me fly that thing because you're going to kill yourself.
None of your dogs underneath the plane are going to make it, but hey.
Right.
Exactly. Oh, by the way, the reason we asked the question, if you're rich, what would you buy? You might think that rich people and poor people live in a different world, but you might not know that the uber rich are now increasingly breathing cleaner air than the rest of us.
Come on, man. Even the air.
Through advanced and expensive filtration systems they are putting in their homes. These are new homes or apartment buildings. It is part of the luxury air market. As wildfires become more commonplace in large cities around the world, as the ventilation that began during the pandemic meets the need to blockade against smoke, wealthy people are doing anything and pay any amount to guarantee that in their homes they will always breathe fresh air. In one Manhattan apartment building, the windows have museum-quality glass and typically are open for cleaning only because the air outside is so dirty and the air inside is being circulated by these advanced filtration systems. Now, such apartments cost millions to buy. One developer expects the perks to trickle down to the more modest $1 million buyer.
Oh, cool, yeah.
After that, it basically becomes like a seatbelt. How long will it trickle down to take to the bottom? I don't know. Depends on people who want it. But yes, more people than not are. The rich are breathing, the headline, rich breathe better air than everyone else. More of the random question coming up, 206-803-ROCK.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops. When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no magic.
from executive producer Jimmy Kimmel.
What's up, team? Just two people can't launch a brand. It takes a village.
We are MMD Hollywood.
Wowee.
Which stands for medical marijuana.
Due to restrictions, we can't tell you everything about our new reality series. But what we can say is the idea behind it is fully baked.
I don't know.
High Hopes. Streaming 4/20 on Hulu.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
What would you do if you were hospitalized far from home? Don't worry, AirMed Care Network has you covered with Fly You Home memberships. Just one call and their providers will transport you back to a hospital of your choice to recover closer to loved ones at zero out-of-pocket cost to you. Fly You Home offers coast-to-coast and worldwide coverage and is remarkably affordable, starting at $159 a year. Learn more at airmedcarenetwork.com/fly.
99.9 KISW. The men's room returns with Miles and Thrill.
Coming up, your guess is as good as mine. Our category is the world's most friendly accents and the favorite soup in the United States.
What's your favorite soup? Mine is French onion without question.
And
I mean, you can do like cream of crab and all this stuff, but as far as something I can readily find, if I go to a restaurant, you have French onion soup, I will order the French onion soup.
Lamb chowder is a big one.
For me, it's usually like a veggie beef.
Veggie beef.
Yeah, vegetable and beef.
Actually, I got excited today. I misread. I went to the pizza joint with Simple Jack, who was not there today. But their soup, it was potato, sausage, and I'm like, oh, man.
I
and
like
kale.
Potato soup, man.
Kale.
Split pea and ham. Underrated.
Split pea and ham is very good. I'm with you.
It's better than it looks.
But if you're going to pick best soup, then to me, you'd have to go cream of crab or like a lobster bisque.
Bisque is great.
Yeah, bisque is good.
I love soup. Soup is good.
I can open a soup place called Son of a Bisque.
Mm-hmm. Random question, 206-803
Random.
Hello, Justin. Welcome to the men's room.
Liquor and whores.
Liquor and whores. Justin, welcome to the program. Random question. Okay, let's go with this. What do you or have you collected, and do you think anything that you've ever collected has any value to it?
I think I did the Pokemon cards for a little bit. Nothing valuable. Pogs when I was a kid, but I just recently started collecting silver coins.
Oh, you did? Now are you doing this through Amazon? Because I know that they went from gold to silver, or Costco, from gold to selling silver. Or maybe it was Amazon.
I haven't yet, but I'm going to eventually. Yeah, I'm going to buy some silver from them. But this bar in Enumclaw I go to, sometimes they do pull tabs for silver, which is kind of fun.
I wonder what the value, I guess it depends on how much you buy. I really don't know the value of metals. As far as
silver dollars are expensive.
It's usually like a troy ounce. Sometimes they'll have like a 10 troy ounce bar, but I usually spend more than it's worth to get it.
Well, what's the coolest coin you have so far? Because there's coins that they just produce, and then there's coins from back in the day.
I won one big 10 ounce troy bar, which is kind of cool. Once you pick it up, it's funny how heavy the thing is.
10 ounces for a coin. Hell yeah.
I got a Donald Trump silver troy coin, so I thought that thing was pretty cool.
What would for the bars, would you ever melt any of that down to make? Can you do that? Like, go to a
is that legal if it's a coin?
Here's a bar of silver. I want, 2 bracelets and a necklace.
Well, so I actually, I thought about that because I have a forge at home. I would have to get some type of cast, but I was going to make some 45 bullets.
Deal with that werewolf problem, brother.
I was thinking like Mandalorian armor or something like that. Okay, either way.
How heavy would Mandalorian armor be if it were made of silver, based on your experience with silver?
I don't think you'd be able to walk.
No, I don't either.
It's just laying on the ground looking cool.
They always keep instructing, like, here's a shoulder patch for you, you know, when you're a Mandalorian, whatever. You get like a piece at a time. You don't just get the full
All right, let
outfit.
me ask you this, man. So say you melted it down to silver bars. Then what? At what point do they become current? Can you go to the bank and exchange them? Is it some federal thing that you have to exchange them through, or what?
I haven't looked that far into it. I've just always been told from, old timers or whatever, it's one day that's going to be the currency, and
I mean, it might be,
but you don't know.
Money's not going to be worth anything. So I don't know. It's just one of those things. If I get it, I just put it in the safe.
Okay, yeah, it's pretty cool anyway.
And he would have gone. I was going to ask what bar Eden Clay was going to.
I was wondering that myself.
you know where he's going.
It's like, is it the Beak, the Rainier, the Mint, Cedars?
It'd be cool if it's called the Silver Bar.
Right.
Reason we asked, what do you collect and is it valuable? Heritage Auctions calls it the greatest unopened find of the 21st century.
Unopened.
An unopened case of hockey cards from the 1979-80 season. That was sold for $3.72 million after a bidding war over the weekend. According to the Regina Leader Post, the case of OPC cards contained 16 unopened boxes of cards, each holding 48 packs of 14 cards. That adds up to 10,752 unopened cards. And with a total of about 400 cards in the set, there's a very strong chance the buyer has obtained around 27 prized Wayne Gretzky rookie cards. The auction house says the box was found by a family in Regina who were over the moon about the sale price, as you can imagine. A sports card specialist at the auction house says it would be a pretty big statistical anomaly for the case to hold much fewer than 27. He says the case was found when a son was helping his father, an old school collector, clear out a basement office. He said the father bought the case many years ago, intending to split it up and sell it, but he just never got around to it. The price surpassed our wildest expectations. He said that it is one of the highest priced items ever sold by Heritage, and it's certainly the highest price sold unopened item in the sports collector market. Now, while many of the cards may be worth next to nothing, Gretzky rookie cards are worth a lot more than their weight in gold. Speaking of metals, Heritage sold one of them for $1 million in 2020 and later brokered a $2.9 million sale of a Gretzky card classed as Gem Mint 10 level, which are what these cards should be when they come out of the packs.
Top of the top of the heap.
The family probably has more big paydays to come. He said they found enough baseball cards to fill up a van, including a case from the late 1970s. And then here's this story, as far as maybe what you collect and is it valuable. Authorities say a Florida man stole collectible coins worth tens of thousands of dollars. Then went to the grocery store.
Jesus Christ.
And used one of their change machines. They returned a small fraction of their value. The Palm Beach Post reports the 20-year-old man, Shane Anthony Mele of Riviera Beach, told investigators he stole the commemorative presidential dollar coins and other items from a North Palm Beach office in December. Coins themselves were worth $33,000.
What did he get out of the coin machine?
A couple of grand. Their face value. He ran many through change machines that only produced the face value. He was charged with grand theft along with unrelated drug charges and was released after posting bond, probably all in quarters. Jail records did not show whether he had an attorney present or not, but he went to the coin store with all these values. And they look, if it's a dollar coin,
no, it's just going to take them.
It's a dollar.
Yeah.
So that's the way that worked out.
Some of my parents collect this stuff, but they have these particular items. And I have no idea if they're worth anything, but it just cracks me up that these were things. So the JFK administration, because yes, they're old, but they lived and worked in D.C. at the time. So you could go to the White House and they gave you commemorative stuff from any president. For them, it just happened to be JFK. And it's still an unopened pack of JFK cigarettes with the official presidential seal.
I used to have a pack of matches.
And they have the book of matches as well.
And the
unopened.
seal of the White House it's raised.
Yeah. I mean, this thing is embossed.
It feels like Braille when you rub your hand over it.
I mean, I have a bunch of White House Christmas decorations. My mother worked down there forever. She would just go over and get them. My friend Stacy actually got me a couple from this past year.
I'm just curious, how much would those cigarettes be? Because you're not going to open them and smoke them unless you're real, real desperate. But I mean, it's 60, almost 70 years old now.
Yeah, well, they used to have boxes of White House M&Ms. There's all kinds of specialty things that are just, with different packaging. They look about the size of a pack of cigarettes. But it's just a box of M&Ms. I can't remember what president introduced that, but there's all kinds of cool commemorative
I would
stuff.
imagine jelly beans was Reagan. If there's peanuts, probably Carter. I don't know the big M&Ms guy.
I mean, the M&Ms were massive in the Obama White House.
That's right. He was a big
because
M&Ms
they
guy.
always had fruit around and stuff because of the healthy initiative. But it was like 60 Minutes or somebody did a report and they were like, "Here's the secret: it's sugar."
See,
they're all eating candy all the time,
and that's
because you're at the White House. You can't drink. You're not doing anything illegal.
I mean, but it's always like the first lady comes up with these initiatives, right? So Michelle Obama was like, "I want children to eat healthy." That's great. I'm eating M&Ms because he never talked about it. Like that was her thing. But anything you heard about him, like he was drinking Coke and eating M&Ms.
Oh, going outside.
Meanwhile,
like
smoking cigarettes.
Him and Jim Boehner got there and ripped
cigarettes before the show.
Washed their hands real good, like any other of us.
And he's a healthy dude, but he obviously had some vices.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yep. Hello, Cody. Welcome to the men's room.
Or John Boehner.
Hola.
Cody, welcome to the program. Random question. All right, we're talking about parents in China who are experiencing heart attacks and strokes, seemingly just trying to help their kids get their homework done. And a lot of the story basically leans towards the math problems as being the ones
that's the only one
seem to cause the most frustration.
So everything else is laziness. Math is I don't understand.
So back to your childhood, back to your schooling. When did you know that you had a teacher who didn't like you, who basically hated you?
When I was in 8th grade, my keyboarding teacher, the first day of class, told me that I would fail. Not because of any merit of my own, but because my father was her student in class when he was in school.
Oh, no. And that was the reason?
Wrong. 8th grade, so 10, 13, something like that.
Damn.
So your father made that big of an impression that a whole generation later...
Typically, it's a sibling, not the parent, as far as just the chances of that happening.
My brother made things good for me because he was a real good student, and every time I had a teacher that he had, they'd make it a point, the exact opposite conversation with me that they had with you, and all I could think, and I've never say it out loud, is you're going to be so disappointed. We are not the same person.
Right. And let me tell you something else. If that's me and my daughter comes home and says, "Dad, you're not going to believe what the teacher said to me today," said that if you are anything like your father, you're going to fail this class and you have no chance of passing. I guarantee you my ass would be down at the school the very next day.
I wouldn't. I believe she remembers me. Don't be me. They're not lying to you. Yeah. Jesus Christ, I was the worst freaking student they ever had. Don't be me is what I would tell them.
How did you do in the class?
Well, I failed, but...
all right. So, it's not really helping in this story.
Maybe that teacher sucks.
It's possible.
Well, so I come home and I told him, "Hey, Dad, this is what happened." And he said, "F that crusty B." And she did have quite a reputation for being one. Back when she graduated school and was looking for a job, keyboarding was not really a thing.
Right.
But because her husband was in good with the school board, they said, "Well, now you have this class, and every 8th grader that comes through this school has to take it."
That's basically what it's a typing class, right?
Because keyboarding did not go away, but she was definitely not a pleasant woman.
Okay, that's typing, right? Keyboarding?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
See, I should have paid more attention to that. That was one of those.
I
tried. I actually liked it. It was just basically the assignment was to do things like place your hands in the appropriate positioning on the keyboard. Do not look at the typewriter and try to dictate.
Type what you're seeing, what you're reading.
So I'm pretty good hunt and peck guy.
Yeah.
But as far as trying to remember all the individual keys without looking at them.
And we didn't know, computers were so futuristic. The idea of having one in your house seemed insane.
Well, that's part of it. I did very well, and then it was just typing class because there were no computers, right? It was typewriter. And I'm like, look, I have no problem taking the class. It's one of the few classes I did well in because you don't have to give it a lot of thought. There's no equations. It's just memorize where your fingers go. Look, I played a bass, so I'm like, I can do this, The muscle memory is simple. But as soon as I passed the class, I blew it off because, like you said, Ted, first of all, people don't have computers in their home. That's a ridiculous concept at that time. and I'm not going to use the type. There's no job on earth that's going to hire me if typing is a major component of it. So I'm like, I'm not, like, honestly, and we know this to be true.
I'll be honest with you. As far as a typewriter goes that's at a computer, I would be better off with the same size screen that I use for my phone.
I think most people would.
And just to be able to, instead of having 8 fingers down on the keyboard and actually typing like you're supposed to. But that also involves using the shift key, because that was the way the teacher taught, like, new sentence, you just got to start with
all this stuff.
All that crap. And, of course, a lot of Q words, Z words, J's, things that just don't come up that often. X, all those were incorporated. X with a dash rate, whatever it was.
And if the dash wasn't there, you got points taken off.
It was the hardest just to find that stuff. But when I thumb type, I fly.
But part of it too, man, even with autocorrect and spell check, it's so much easier now. So, like, if you meant to type X-ray and didn't add the dash with a typewriter, you got points taken off. If you don't add the dash now, it does it for you. So even when you go back and proofread what you type, it'll look like you typed it right. You might be the most illiterate son of a bitch on earth, but if you're close enough to the word, like, it already corrected it for you.
I'd almost rather have, instead of a big-ass keyboard, that just a little square that acted just like a phone, and I could type into that little square.
They got to have that somewhere, right? Just like an
I don't
adapter.
know, because they've been talking about it, but we've talked about it, but I don't know that I've ever seen it. Because you figure there's a lot of people that are type much faster with their thumbs.
Every person under the age of 21 probably types faster with their thumbs than on a keyboard.
Razor asks, when did you know your teacher hated you? A Bangladeshi medical student teacher has been suspended after allegedly pulling out a firearm and shooting a student in the leg during an argument.
That's how you know, Mike.
Rahan Sharif, a lecturer at a medical college in northwestern Bangladesh, has been suspended from his job 2 days after allegedly shooting a student in the classroom. Media reports the incident took place on a Monday while Dr. Sharif was conducting an oral exam. At some point, he got into an argument with a 23-year-old student named Arafat Amin and pulled out a gun. He shot the student in the right knee. Damn. Luckily for the student, the bullet hit the mobile phone he had in his pocket and prevented a potentially life-threatening injury. He still wound up in the hospital and had to go through surgery on his leg. Reports said there were 45 students in the classroom when he unloaded and the shooting occurred, many of whom then rushed to help their colleague and to run out of the frickin' classroom.
Yeah.
They locked Sharif in a room until police arrived. He was taken into custody, and police seized the gun as well as a second pistol, 81 bullets, 4 magazines, 2 knives, and 10 daggers, all found in the teacher's bag. Again, seized the gun, a second pistol, 81 bullets, 4 magazines, 2 knives, 10 daggers, all found in the teacher's bag.
Who will shoot you?
I'm glad that, shooting a student is grounds for suspension.
Suspension.
Right.
Come on. He's suspended. He's not even in jail.
Right.
He's suspended.
He's suspended.
We're going to look into this. And look, teachers, I understand. I'm sure you want to shoot half your students half the time.
Right.
But I like that you don't.
Yeah, look, news of this in his suspension by the medical college sparked outrage in Bangladesh, with people voicing their outrage at the lecturer's actions. Students at the college protested this week, asking for a more severe punishment and his immediate dismissal instead of a suspension. The teacher does remain in custody, and police said that a special committee has been tasked with investigating the circumstances surrounding the incident.
Special committee.
How about asking one of the 45 students who was in there?
They were arguing,
the teacher,
and he shot him.
Asking the students.
Right.
Either way, I was telling my daughter not too long ago, and she's a teacher, and there's a lot of things.
Is she packing?
Well, okay, so in Africa, the disciplinary action is a little bit more severe.
Sure.
And she was explaining this to me. It's very difficult for her. Some kids just have a problem just grasping different things, and they're also, 8 years old, 9 years old, and they're trying to learn multiple languages all at once. So there's a lot of different things that kind of play into this. And it's not an easy curriculum by any stretch of the imagination on any country's standards. She said it's a very, very difficult regimen as far as what these kids need to learn. But as far as the teachers are concerned, as far as the principals are concerned, you're going to get a lashing. And it's basically switches that are outside of all of the classrooms. Now, I tried to explain to my daughter, that every classroom that I ever went to growing up had a paddle hanging from the inside of the door.
Yeah, they beat your ass.
Some of them had holes bored in them that they would take to the shop class, not because that was probably something that would lessen the pain of being beaten with a paddle, but it was the sound of the paddle whistling, because the teacher would go outside and bend the person over into the locker room and beat the living hell out of them right beside the door, right? But you would hear the whistle from the pedal, like, you're like, oh, man, RJ, why can't you just, why did you have to fart in class or whatever, make everybody laugh during a test? It wasn't like the worst thing in the world, but you got your ass beat. My daughter's like, how old are you?
That old?
Yeah, old enough to get your ass
that
beat.
old, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Knuckles getting hit,
She's
all
like,
that stuff.
She's like, it's very traumatic for me to hear these kids crying and getting beat. I'm like, I'm sure it is.
It wasn't for our teachers. I think it brought them joy.
Yeah, they loved it.
Just how it went.
My God, they beat the hell out of you in a heartbeat.
Your guess is as good as mine. Count out the categories: the world's most friendly accents and soup. And we have your emails coming up next in the men's room at KISW.com.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops. When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no magic.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
From executive producer Jimmy Kimmel.
What's up, team? Just two people can't launch a brand. It takes a village.
We are MMD Hollywood.
Wowee.
Which stands for medical marijuana.
Due to restrictions, we can't tell you everything about our new reality series. But what we can say is the idea behind it is fully baked.
I don't know.
High Hopes. Streaming 4/20 on Hulu.
This is a promotional message for Alexia Sweet Potato Fries, and in the process of elucidating you on all the wondrous virtues Alexia Sweet Potato Fries have to offer, I intend to do so in a prodigious manner befitting of such a superlative side. That's because all Alexia creations are creatively crafted, from sweet potato fries that accomplish a delicate balance of sweet and savoury without GMOs or superfluous additives, to the eloquent lexicon of our advertisements, like this one, because every Alexia experience is intended to feel creatively crafted and exceptional without exception. Alexia's Sweet Potato Fries. Do procure them in your grocer's freezer.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops. When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no magic.
From executive producer Jimmy Kimmel.
What's up, team? Just two people can't launch a brand. It takes a village.
We are MMD Hollywood.
Wowee.
Which stands for medical marijuana.
Due to restrictions, we can't tell you everything about our new reality series. But what we can say is the idea behind it is fully baked.
I don't know.
High Hopes. Streaming 4/20 on Hulu.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Your guess is as good as mine. Cut of the categories, the world's most friendly accents and delicious soup. But first, time for a few emails from the Men's Room at KISW.com.
You've got mail. You've got mail.
Jump right to the birthdays. Gentlemen, can I get a birthday shout out for my husband, the unofficial Men's Room statistician, Kyle?
Oh, yeah.
This is his first birthday as a dad. I can't imagine going through the parenthood adventures without him. So how about a little kid face sandwich and some dad jokes from Miles to commemorate the birthday? Thanks, guys, for all you do and keep on rocking. That from Jessica.
Fish challenge.
Okay, dad jokes. Let's see here. Guys, what's the difference between a C-section and a natural birth?
What is the difference between a C-section and a natural birth?
Takeout versus delivery. All right.
I like that. Think DoorDash does that?
You know, when I was at the Fred Meyer, my wife sent me a text and asked if I could get a head of lettuce. I said, sure, it's not even that fast. And speaking of airlines, the airline lost my luggage. I'd sue, but I don't have a case. Oh, one more. Sometimes I sit at the top of the hill, and Ted, you've seen this, wrap my arms around my knees and lean forward. That's just how I roll. That's how you roll. That's how I roll. All right. What else? Oh, guys, happy birthday to my bro mate on his 40-something birthday. Can he get the captain on 40? And some skinless bangers. That from the judge. Or Jude.
Ooh, well, ahoy there. You know, me and the mascot celebrated my 40th birthday by doing a little challenge we called 40 shots in 40 minutes. I remember the first 7 minutes, and then nothing. Until the next morning, I woke up in a Thai prison. But I had not been arrested. Apparently, we'd provided what we'll call services to the prison guards. Crunch Bears.
Mom, I need some bangers. Skinless bangers, Mom.
I don't know why that's funny.
Guys, it's a great day to be 45. We want to wish Dave a very happy 45th. You know him as Dave from Gold Bar when he emails in.
Oh, okay.
A hell of a great husband, brother, son, family guy, and electrician. How about Mickey and the captain telling Dave about the good, bad side of electricity, and Miles with some electrical dad jokes. Thanks, guys. Love you, Dave. That from the Elk Plain Drifter, Amy Jean, and Coco.
Ooh, well, ahoy there. Well, we discussed this among the mascots, and according to Betty Crocker, the best thing about electricity is deep batteries. Specifically for her, this is a real thing, the Chloe 4-in-1 thrusting, tongue-licking, sucking G-spot vibrator from Lavexo. Currently on sale for $67.29. I looked it up earlier. People wondered why my computer screen had that displayed, and I said, well, frankly, that's for work purposes. Crunch Bears. That's a real product, by the way.
What's wrong?
The Chloe 4-in-1 thrusting, tongue-licking, sucking G-spot vibrator from Lavexo. Side note, when you go to the webpage, there's a bunch of pictures of all the different products, and all of them are wiggling. So it's very distracting, dude.
I know that product well. We use it all the time here at the park. Well, Minnie does. If you're an electrician, don't get zapped.
Electrician dad jokes. All right, Dave. What's the difference between God and an electrician?
What is the difference between God and an electrician?
God doesn't think he's an electrician. An electrician got home at 4 a.m. His wife asked him, "Why are you insulate?" He replies, "What's it to you? I'm home, aren't I?" What's it? Wow. One more electrician joke. Wow. Why do Transformers hum? Why do Transformers hum?
Why do they hum?
Because they forgot the words. Guys, today's my 46th birthday. Yesterday, I got to go and play with some others. It was amazing. I would love to hear the Dirty Germans talking about playing with otters. And everyone talking at the same time about getting older. Thanks, guys. That from Adam.
Yeah, it's so funny that you're talking about playing with otters. Our euphemism is beavers.
Yeah, sometimes, at the house in the morning time, I like to break out the otter and play with it.
Getting older. You're 46. You're okay. You got to spend a whole day playing with otters.
46 not too bad.
Hurt a little bit more. It's also deep down. You just don't give it a rat's ass about any damn thing. But people will call you old man.
And gentlemen, I want to say happy birthday to Greg. He is turning the ripe old age of 65. So, can I get a what the hell, bro? Cut that bitch off. And the Dirty Germans commenting about mowing his lawn on a riding lawnmower wearing nothing but a banana hammock. Thanks, guys. Lots of love. That from Uncle Polly G and the EMC team.
Cut that bitch off. Next caller.
Yeah, he sent the email like there's some other way to mow your lawn on a riding lawnmower.
Yeah, it's the rest of the neighborhood calls it the highlight of the weekend.
Yeah, all the ladies come out and watch, offers us beer. How do you mow your lawn?
Yeah, it's so sexy, I might have to break out the otter.
All right, guys, here you go. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday to you, to you, to you.
Ja, the Dirty Germans, brought to you by Men's Room Original Sausage. Available through Uli's world famous sausage, mensroomlive.com, and other fine retailers. Schweinefleisch.
Thank you, Bob. Let's get a contestant on the line now. For your guess is as good as mine. Call 206-803-ROCK. That is coming up. First time for a couple extra emails, as you know. Men's Room World Tour. Stop number 1 for 2024 as we launch the Men's Room IPA.
Yeah.
That happens this Friday at the Black Raven Brewery and Tap House in lovely Woodinville. We'll be doing our show live from 2 till 6. As always, with all of our parties, it's absolutely free.
It's absolutely free. Also, we'll see if this proves to be true, but the weather's supposed to be downright balmy.
Yeah, it looks nice.
Yeah. It's sun shining, about 62 degrees, which means I might have to do the show in shorts, which would be nice for my legs to be exposed to the elements again. So, man, you cannot ask for more than that just to do this, because here's the thing. Their outdoor grounds are pretty damn nice, too.
Yeah, Woodinville.
Woodinville.
I went through it like 5 times this weekend. People were like, I love the wood. I was like, we're not in Redmond.
Woodinville, which is an amazing facility.
Yeah.
So if you haven't had a chance to try the Men's Room IPA from Black Raven Brewing on tap, you can do so this Friday from 2 till 6. Be a part of the show and join us. If you're headed out looking for any of our beer in retail locations, word on the street is we're well over 300 different locations so far.
Lord.
That have the beer. Look for the bright yellow can and the brand new Men's Room IPA.
You will not miss the can.
Here are a couple of the locations that you have sent us. Guys, just picked up a 6-pack of your new beer at the Goose Community Grocer on Whidbey Island. Can't wait to pop one open. That from our buddy Jose. This one says, Hola, gents.
Hola.
I don't buy beer much anymore, but I had to get the IPA and try it out.
Oh, thank you.
Someone wrote in that it was at the Lucky 7 Food Mart in Lacey. So I went there. After failing to find it at Safeway and a few others, they had 3 Sixers left. So I left 1 for the next person to find. Damn good beer, by the way. Black Raven, batting 1,000 as always.
Yes.
Cheers, guys. That from Chris. Gentlemen from Trent, the Ording Safeway proudly has Men's Room IPA for Black Raven Brewing. Look for the bright yellow can. Another one, the Burien Safeway. Glenn, thank you for the pick. And thank you for letting us know that the Burien Safeway has it as well. More. Guys found a Men's Room IPA at Pearl Street Safeway in Tacoma. Rock on, bitches. Thanks, guys. That from Luke in Tacoma. Another stack there. They're looking like a lot of these are on the end caps.
Yes.
Which is nice, because it should be pretty easy to find when you're going down the beer aisle.
It is a bright yellow can, and it's at an end cap. Yeah, you're going to find it.
Okay, and don't forget to join us at Black Raven Brewery and Tap House in Woodinville this Friday from 2 till 6 as we do our show live for the Men's Room IPA launch party. So hopefully you can stop by and join us for a beer or two. Okay, I think it's time for a little Your Guess is as good as mine. It's an easy game to play. You pick from one of 2 categories. Try to get as many right in said category before 3 strikes, and you're out. Steve, who is our contestant, ready to play Your Guess
That
is as good as mine.
Be me and the Ted Smith, along with our very own Mike Hawk.
Ooh, okay. All right, categories today, guys. We have the world's most friendly accents. Basically, they say when traveling, you'll meet friendly people from all across the globe, introducing you to different dialects and accents. But which is deemed the most friendly? Amid reports that 6 in 10 people believe that others had more subconscious judgments about them based on their accent or how they speak, with accent bias, dictating some job prospects, level of attractiveness, everything else, intelligence, even friendliness. It was clear the dialects definitely shape various aspects of daily life and what people think of you. So they did a global study of 5,000 participants, and it was conducted to ultimately uncover which country has the highest odds of having the most and least friendly accents.
Okay.
So accents around the world. Then, quite simply, the 10 most popular soups in the United States of America. You guys want to go accents? Do you want to go soups?
I kind of want to do some accents.
You want to do accents? All right, let's do accents.
And these are the friendliest.
Friendliest sounding.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
So I know what's not on there.
Yeah, German or Welsh.
Russian. Arabic, I would think.
Norwegian received the least amount of votes as far as being friendly.
What would a Norwegian accent sound like? Even if you were from Norway and started speaking, I would not be able to figure it out.
How about friendly? We'll say Irish.
You'll say Irish.
Irish.
Number 9, Ted Smith.
All right.
Nice job. There's a tie for a few of these. There's more than 10, just so you know.
I'm going to guess the U.S. accent.
The American accent, believe it or not, is what people around the world believe to be the most friendly accent in the world.
All right. Wow.
Yeah. We take the top spot, believe it or not.
How about Swedish?
Swedish.
The Swedish accent.
Why not Swedish? No.
Oh, come on.
The American accent, too, because Americans, we talk to people more.
We talk a lot.
So, I think most people think of Americans when traveling, it's friendly.
Mm-hmm. I think the thing I heard was friendly. We have a lot of gusto, and we're exceptionally confident.
Okay. Yeah. So you guys get 2 out of the 10. Irish is correct at number 9.
You guys think just the straight up English accent, maybe?
I was thinking England, but before I guess them, I think maybe French. Even if you perceive them as rude, the language is not harsh at all.
Yeah, that's not. That's not
I don't know if that carries
French,
over.
you going to go that?
I'll go French.
Number 6.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, how about Japanese?
Japanese, as far as being friendly. Not on the list.
How about Italian?
Italian. Hey, why the hell not? Number 8.
What about a Spanish accent?
A Spanish accent.
Spanish, good call.
People from Spain. That is also tied for number 9 with Ireland.
All right.
As far as the 9th friendliest accent in the world.
From the text line, someone says Australian.
Oh, people love Australians.
Number 3.
Yeah.
On the list.
Should we throw New Zealand in there?
Yeah. What?
Third strike.
Are you kidding?
So far, you guys get American right at number 1. Australian, 3rd. French is 6th. Italian, 8th. Spanish and Irish tied for 9th.
Do you guys think they might put Canadian in there?
Oh, yeah. If we're friendly, Canadians got to be super friendly.
Right? Canadian?
Number 4.
All right.
Ooh, here's a good one. Jamaican.
Jamaican man.
What?
It is a friendly accent.
It is. Even if they're mad at you. I told you to move your card, man. Let's say it again.
What about Brazil?
Brazil.
Portuguese?
Portuguese.
All right.
Should we go England? Should we pull the England trigger?
Let's do
Let's
it.
try England.
Yes, number 2.
Oh, damn.
If you want a credible voice, where do you go? You go with the British accent.
That's how you let people know that someone's smart in a movie.
That's correct.
That's right.
As long as it's the Queen's English, not Cockney.
Or from outer space.
You know what?
Most of the England residents reside.
It's a little bit on.
true.
It's a little bit on the bold side and a little caustic, admittedly. But the Scottish accent, I feel like you're always in for a good time.
Scottish is number 7 on the list, Mike. Good thinking.
That's a strong guess, man. Somebody says the Mexican accent. Nope.
Okay, I'll tell you guys this. As far as the remaining 3 accents, I personally don't feel that they sound friendly to me. But that's just my own personal perception.
Well, a lot of people don't like it.
So what did his ex-wife sound like?
It's just Miles. There's something just, I just don't, it's not that it's not friendly, it's distracting maybe.
Distracting. All right, hang on.
I mean, not distracting, but just, I don't know.
Interested as to what these are now.
These are not the accents that I would think would make the list.
Wouldn't make it.
Arabic?
Arabic, not on the list.
Okay.
How about Russian?
Not on the list.
No way.
All right.
You got to be in real bad shape if that sounds friendly.
They're distracting. So my thought is when you listen to these people talk, you're not exactly hearing what they're saying because you're just so thrown off by their accent.
That is correct.
So who would you get thrown off by their accent? Is it because they're really thick?
They're just unique.
They're just a unique accent.
Friendly, maybe, yes. But I just get so distracted by it that it's hard for me to concentrate on whether they're friendly or not.
Greek?
Greek? No, I'm trying to think in that whole area over there. Is it obvious, Miles? Are we missing a pretty obvious sector over here?
I think so.
All right.
We said Spain, we said France, we said Italy,
Right.
we said England.
How about Indian?
Number 10.
I'm right there with Miles.
On the list.
It never
It's not that it's not
friendly.
friendly. It's just, it's not that it's not friendly.
I worked at a restaurant, and it was owned by 3 Indian dudes, and I'm the only guy in the kitchen. I just speak straight English. And so if they're not speaking to me, they're speaking to each other, obviously.
Sure.
And it sounded like they were about to get in a fist fight. And so I'd always be distressed, like, oh, man, something's going down. And they'd all laugh and slap each other on the back. It's like, was that a good conversation? They're like, oh, it's the funniest thing I've ever heard.
The most notable accent, I believe, in the world on this other language or on this other country comes from one gentleman in particular who gave an award away last night at the Oscars, actually.
What, Italian-American?
No, but he's very distinct in his accent.
Crud, I didn't
and
actually
only
watch the
he sounds like he.
Only he sounds
Except for everyone in his country, probably.
But we just know this person to represent this country.
Yep.
And they presented an award.
He was born there. He's lived in the United States most of his life.
Nope. No, we already got
We get Australia.
He gave an award with Danny DeVito.
Oh, my God. Schwarzenegger?
Austrian accent is number 8. Not just distracting. You see what I'm saying? Like, I am here to give an award away.
Like, we interpret Arnold Schwarzenegger as kind of this warm, fuzzy thing, but the accent itself, I would not think this guy's going to be my buddy.
No.
I would like to order some soup.
And the one that you guys missed, number 5 on the list, that would be the German accent.
Really?
Yes.
German actually is on the list.
It's
okay.
one of the
Well, once Austrian made it, I guess German
might
has
as
it.
well, yeah.
So here you go. Coming in at number 10, Indian. Tied for 9th, Spanish and Irish. Tied for 8th, Austrian and Italian. In 7th, the Scottish accent, the most friendly. Followed by the French accent at 6. 5 is German. 4, Canadian. Australian at 3. British number 2. And the most friendly accent around the world based on a survey. That'll be right here in the United States. Yeah, very good. All right, coming up, we will drink and toast. With a shot of the day, you are listening to The Men's Room.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops. When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
From executive producer Jimmy Kimmel.
What's up, team? Just 2 people can't launch a brand. It takes a village.
We are MMD Hollywood, which stands for medical marijuana.
Due to restrictions, we can't tell you everything about our new reality series. But what we can say is the idea behind it is fully baked. High Hopes. Streaming 4/20 on Hulu.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
If you've ever wondered if you can pull off cowboy boots, then you should pull on a pair of Tacovas. Comfortable right out of the box and available in dozens of timeless men's and women's styles. Their handcrafted boots are ready to put the world at your heels. When comfort leads, confidence follows. And Tacovas delivers both right to your door. Visit Tacovas.com. That's TECOVAS.com. And don't go gently. You'll love where you're headed.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles Miles and Thrill.
All right, couple of minutes. We'll drink your toast with a shot of the day. And we do have your headlines on the way at 5:50. But first, quick check out with Mike Hawk and some of the stories and headlines he is not working on.
Thank you, Miles. Chuck E. Cheese announced that they're going to be testing a subscription program.
What am I subscribing to?
They basically there were different tiers that you could subscribe for, and I think you get more like play tokens and stuff like that to be able to play their games. So,
come on, Chuck.
The way of the future. Subscription.
I guess. I mean, I feel like you have a 2 or 3 year window where your kids care about Chuck E. Cheese.
Sure.
Right? And that's about it.
And look, basically adult Chuck E. Cheese is Dave & Buster's, so it's kind of the same vein, and I do really enjoy my time going there. I don't know.
Dave & Buster's is Red Mill if Chuck E. Cheese is McDonald's.
I get you. But at the same token, even with Dave & Buster's, Chuck E. Cheese, I don't know anybody who's a regular visitor to either of these places. It's not even like the old school arcade games. Like I feel like an arcade would have a better shot at a subscription service. Like, hey, you give us $7.99 a month, we'll give you 30 free tokens, whatever it is.
I mean, I'd rather go to Dave & Buster's, and most of it's because kids can have fun, but they also have games for us.
Right.
For Chuck E. Cheese, there's a lot of fun games to play with your kids. Yeah, that's about it.
Right. Dave & Buster's has cocktails, too.
And that goes a long subscription service to Chuck E. Cheese.
You know what? I'm interested to see how it does. I'm not going to knock it until I see it.
Weed's been legalized. We've had a black president. Why not have a tier pay subscription service to Chuck E. Cheese?
You're already paying for everything in there.
This, I'm sure you get discounts at.
Yeah. 21st century. Legal weed, black president, Chuck E. Cheese has a subscription service.
What did you not expect to see in your life? I think Chuck E. Cheese surprises me the most.
Right.
Of those 3. Like, wait, what?
More than half of buy now, pay later method consumers are under the age of 35, and they're using it for everyday purchases.
God, mate, one day when they discover credit cards, their minds are going to be blown.
Right?
Like, yeah.
That was my thing, too. It's like,
that's what a credit card is.
It's just a credit card.
I like some of the options sometimes, too. Something be like $20-$30, like, or 4 easy payment, like, wait a minute, it's $30.
Right.
That's what we had rent-a-centers.
Yeah, exactly. Rent to own.
With crazy.
Yeah, the interest was insane.
Sure.
So $400 TV costs you $1,000, but you spread it out over these payments, it doesn't hurt you as much.
Now you're paying $1,600.
Right.
Instead of $1,000.
That's the thing, is that you're paying 180% for the doggone couch.
Right.
But
you're not paying it all at the same time.
I had a buddy who got his first apartment and macked it out with stuff in there. Everything.
No kidding.
Television, furniture, his bedroom, the whole deal. He got a loan from Rent-A-Center. And then it took him years to pay that crap.
Sure. Smartphones are a major distraction for kids at school. We know this, but one of the main culprits of those distractions may be the parents texting their kids throughout the school day.
Are you kidding me?
Not at all. And they're texting innocuous stuff like, how'd you do on that test? Did you get this assignment done?
Wait till they get home, dummy.
Right. This is what dinner table conversation is.
Right? Jesus, God.
And that kind of teaches them social conversation skills as well. It's like, tell me what happened today. What did you go through today? Did you get all your stuff done today? How did you do on that test? I understand you're chomping at the bit to know too, but let the kids sit there in class.
That's, well, your child's often distracted in class. What's the problem? Well, frankly, it's you.
Right.
You keep texting him.
Right. He's always on his phone. Oh, Candy Crush. No, he's texting you.
He's texting you back.
I know the kids aren't playing Candy Crush. That's an old person's game. It's just I wanted to throw it out there. They're playing other stuff.
Even playing the Candy Crush?
You kids on the Candy Crushes? You know that's a freemium game. Free to play, pay to win. I know that you guys have already set your calendars, but I just wanted to let everybody else know it is National Debunking Day. For those of you that all, debunking. For all of you that like to celebrate. In fact, we got a handful of debunked myths that people continue to believe.
The Men's Room Top 10. The Men's Room Top 10. 10 debunked myths that people continue to believe. How about breaking a mirror and getting 7 years of bad luck? The glass mirror was first invented by the Romans, and along with the Greeks, Chinese, African, and Indian cultures, they believed that a mirror had the power to take away part of a person's soul. It was believed that if the mirror cracked or broke, the soul would be trapped inside forever. If you don't want your soul trapped in darkness, just bury all the fragments under a tree during a full moon. Or, alternatively, Just stop being a gullible moron. Your call, Chief.
Wow, damn. No fun at all. So these are debunked myths that other people continue to believe. And
Doesn't the debunked myth, to me, sounds like a future NFL player.
Debunked myth.
I'm debunked myth.
Tight end.
The Ohio State.
Yeah, defensive end. The U.
God,
The U.
That would be a badass name, though.
Debunked myth.
Debunked myth.
I only have a 2-inch penis.
What is the famous phrase that was uttered by Marie Antoinette?
Let them eat cake.
Correct. Actually, incorrect. It was first quoted 50 years after her death, and at the time she allegedly said it, she would have been 14 and living in Austria. She did not say, let them eat cake.
Where's it come from? Something a 14-year-old would say. You got to paint a bad picture of her.
Sure.
All right? It's based on the French Revolution and all that. Like, well, she said this.
Right.
And then people died.
Dumbass.
Yeah. And besides, most people not trying to give up their cake.
Right.
Like, let them eat fish head soup. Let them eat broccoli. Like, come on, man.
Do you guys remember back in the old school radio days, War of the Worlds created a mass hysteria, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wrong. It was part of a low-rating sci-fi show that barely anyone listened to. It was on at the same time as the most popular radio show of that time. They announced after every commercial break that it was a show. Also, breaking news like that wouldn't have commercials, they say.
Okay. All
right. I mean, that
we'll be right back.
Right. Mars is attacking. Aliens are destroying humanity.
Now we'll learn from chock-full nuts, my favorite coffee.
These nuts are tasty.
Yeah. The world's going to end. Cracker Jack.
But first, this word from Colgate Tooth Powder.
Brought to you by Cars for Kids.
1-877 Cars for Kids.
You ain't going to die without being annoyed one more time.
Families huddled in fear hearing about Hershey's syrup.
What's worse, we're being attacked or Cars for Kids?
Oh, my gosh. That playing violent video games makes you violent in real life. Again, these are debunked myths that other people continue to believe. Guess
what?
That
is so stupid.
Right. Playing Mario doesn't make you, jump into pipes and kill turtles on the regular
I used to play with the little plastic green army men. That was the height of our excitement when I was growing up.
Oh, yeah.
How many people did I shoot and kill?
Yeah, exactly.
7. Only 7.
Right.
Mike.
It's the same thing with, like, toy guns. Like, me and my buddies, everybody had them.
Everyone.
Not everybody I know owns a gun.
Right.
Or uses them bad.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Video game. Well, first it was music, and when they couldn't latch it on the music anymore because they realized that was stupid.
Yep.
Then they went to video games because that seemed to be the next big thing after music that kids got involved with.
Exactly.
Playing Space Invaders makes people hate aliens.
You're out at a day at the beach or the community pool and you just had lunch. What's the rule?
Gotta wait 30 minutes so you don't
Right.
drown.
Actually, that's not true at all. It has nothing to do with that.
Why do you think they said this? So the kids don't puke?
Basically, I think that's also part of it is that you're liable to get a stomachache. You might actually cramp up just a little bit, but give it a second.
Right.
Just let your
Give it a
food
second.
process for a minute. Or maybe it was, you don't need to be in the water right now. I just ate. I want to chill out without having to wonder if
Right.
you guys are about to drown in the doggone ocean.
I think that's part of it too, right? It's like the pool, like we always left to go out to like the snack bar or whatever.
Yeah.
So you weren't going to sprint right back in. But if we went to the beach,
Yeah, as soon as
you
you're
would
done
definitely sit there eating food. You bring like your cooler and stuff.
Right.
So I'm with you. I think sometimes the parents just didn't feel like going back in the ocean.
Exactly. Let it set for a second.
It's amazing what you come up with. Whatever lie you'll tell your kid, just get them to say, Dad, can I borrow $2? If you loan your kid $2, they die. No.
Right.
Oh, okay. All right, never mind.
I'm sorry. I haven't heard this one before, but lifting heavy weights is going to ruin your joints.
Huh. I don't know if I heard that one.
Right? There's a lot of people that lift heavy weights and their joints are doing just fine. Now, later on in life, it might
maybe
suffer some
But
issues.
a lot of things you do when you're younger will come back later in life. I've never heard that one.
It says at certain extremes that may be possible, but the average person lifting weights is actually doing something really great for their muscles, bones, and joints.
Why would you tell people not to do something else?
Because some people don't want to work out.
To ruin my joints.
And like it used to be, like some people just didn't know.
Right.
Some people would do, like, especially in like what the 70s and 80s, like people did a lot more cardio. Mm-hmm. It's like you want to lose weight, you got to do cardio. But I mean, nowadays there's a lot of science behind like just go lift 2 or 3 days a week.
Mm-hmm. Right. Exactly. Well, and cardio is only working the lungs and the heart as well, right? You know, everybody treats it as like the universal. If you want to lose weight, you want to burn calories, go for a run. Not necessarily. It's great for your heart and it's great for your lungs, but
Right, and it kind of goes against your mind. It's like, oh, I got to cut weight. But it's like, actually, you start lifting, your body, I mean, like, there's some people that aren't going to lose a ton of weight, but your body shifts. It's like, that's better for you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. MSG, it's bad for you, right?
That's what I've always heard.
Wrong. It's actually naturally occurring in things like mushrooms and seaweed, and the FDA even recognizes it as safe.
Huh. All right. Well, they say that seaweed could save the world one day. If
Seaweed could save the world.
I hope it does.
Right?
Thanks, seaweed.
That's the worst superhero ever. I am seaweed. You look like seaweed. I'm here to help you.
Oh, God. I'm amazed at people that can taste seaweed. People that don't like sushi. Mm-hmm. Man, I hate the taste of seaweed. I can't even taste it.
I can taste it. I just happen to like it.
What, in the little wrapper?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I'll eat a seaweed salad too. Mm-hmm. So I don't mind it.
I got you. That's funny. That's the only vegetable it seems like you're
freaking
actually okay
seaweed,
with.
bro. Yeah, I'll eat a seaweed salad. I will.
Some sesame oil on it.
Yeah,
pretty good.
Right. I was about to say it's covered in sesame oil, fish, and some chipotle sauce.
And I'm down.
And soy.
I don't eat vegetables that grow out of the ground.
Does anybody here like wasabi? I understand the wasabi that we get is actually just colored horseradish.
Yeah, I do like it. I do.
I can't do it.
Really?
It's too much.
I mean, it's hot, but when you kind of learn how to use it in your mouth, it's not so bad.
Sure. I've just started getting into mixing the ginger and the soy.
Oh, my man.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
Look at me. We always hear about the packs of wolves. There's always one in charge.
Yeah, the alpha.
The alpha. Yeah, wolves don't have alphas the way that people think that they do. The person who popularized that concept has spent most of his career trying to debunk it, and the term is no longer used in the scientific community.
I saw a whole special on this.
Really?
He wrote a book. Everybody loved it. And then, he spent the rest of it. He's like, look, I was wrong. He's like, it turns out it was just a couple parents. And he's like,
kids. Okay.
I've been following them forever. He's like, there is no such thing as this alpha wolf and this and that. He's like, it's kind of a made up thing, but people love the idea so much, like they won't listen to him.
No.
Don't tell us the truth. Tell us what we want to hear. We're like that alpha wolf.
I lead the pack.
Well, I think, too, like some, it's easier to kind of be an a-hole or something. Somebody's like, well, I'm just an alpha. So it's like,
debunk it for him.
Yeah. Like,
it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Get your beta. Shut up.
Yeah, exactly.
Debunk myths that other people continue to believe that different places on your tongue taste different flavors, right?
I've heard that.
Wrong.
So I don't have to drink my fancy, expensive wine and let it just cascade over the back of my tongue.
Make sure that you drink it with the back of your throat.
Yeah.
Well, and as you were saying earlier, that we're all born a certain way with our taste buds being that certain way they kind of grind down over time.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so some people are able to taste it a little bit more efficiently, and
maybe that's what it is. I don't know. I mean, either I like the wine or I don't, but I couldn't tell you why I like it or why I don't.
And that's kind of where I'm at as well. My wife has a phenomenal palate, and she can taste things that I can't.
Does that ruin your sex life?
A little bit.
Michael, I know what you want me to do, but listen. It's different for me.
I taste things I don't want to.
White better.
Yeah, I've just noticed that people tend to have different taste buds and different palates that, whiskeys. I've tried forever to get into whiskeys, and I'm starting to get different notes in different places.
Sure.
But there are some people that can they can taste the smallest hints of things. You bet. You bet. I wish I was on his level, but I could probably
do you though? Because it's cool that you can do that, and I know he knows what he's talking about, but as a result, he spends more money on whiskey than we do. Because there's a certain level he's not going to go below.
Right.
Because he's looking for something. To me, it's always I'd say bowling. Because I'm not good at bowling, I still enjoy it. The guys that are really good at bowling, they get pissed if they don't get a strike.
Right.
It's like, man, you're sucking the fun out of this by being that good.
What do we know about blood and the color of blood?
It's blue and no oxygen or something.
Correct.
Yeah, when it's only red, it's the oxygen.
Right, and that's not true at all. It is all red.
That one seems relatively new.
I feel like that did recently come out, yeah.
I feel like the last 5 years you've heard that, because I always said that.
That's what I thought.
Believed it.
Right.
Looks blue to me.
And at the time, it was no different than, a kid believing that the refrigerator light was on all the time, too. It's like we can't know until we open it up and find out.
And every time I open it, it's on.
Right. And that it's garbage. It's just the way that it comes through.
I found out that the refrigerator light turns off by accident. I think I hit the press button with my hand. Mm-hmm. And I'm maybe 9 years old, but I'm like, I will be damned.
My goodness.
Yeah, then you can't stop them. Oh my, did you know this, Dad?
You guys, look.
Yeah, father's like, yeah, I knew that.
Right.
I knew that, boy.
Noodle that one out yourself,
Keep
did you?
eating glue.
What do we know as far as animals that tend to crawl into our mouths in the middle of the night?
Oh, spiders?
Sure they do.
They've been around for billions of years, and they're so stupid they'll climb into your wet, nasty mouth.
Apparently, the myth began to show how readily people accept information they read on the internet as facts.
That's where...
That was kind of the beginning of don't believe everything that you read on the internet.
I think we got a few of those things floating around.
Exactly.
And it's like, man, people are just eating a lot of spiders.
Right.
What did it say, 8 spiders a year? I think that was the going rate.
Pretty much,
Something.
yeah. What do we know about lightning?
Never strikes twice.
Correct.
Which was as a kid, I said, why do they have lightning rods?
Right.
Do you have to replace it and move the building every time? Like, you put a lightning rod there. That tells me it probably keeps striking them.
And does it sit in the cloud like, you know what, I really want to hit that spot again, but Gary just
let me move over here.
And then the final debunked myth that other people just continue to believe, and I don't feel like people believe this one near as much, but one thing that we know about bulls, they get angry at the color red.
Spider-Man colorblind.
Right. They're colorblind, and it's more about the...
You're waving and taunting them.
Right.
Like most mammals, if they're already angry and then you taunt them, go up to a gorilla and shake a red cape in front of them.
Right.
They'll probably react the same way.
Exactly. If your kid comes up to you and starts waving a little red napkin inside of your face.
But only red.
Right. It's because it's red.
Do any other color, I'm fine with that.
Golfers on a course in Australia suffered a stoppage of play due to the most Australian of reasons, Miles.
What was that?
Tell you all about it at 5:50.
Probably a blooming onion. Thank you, sir. Headlines are coming up at 5:50. In the meantime, let's get a contestant on the line for Profile This at 206-803-ROCK. All right, we made it to drinking time.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops. When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
From executive producer Jimmy Kimmel.
What's up, team? Just 2 people can't launch a brand. It takes a village.
We are MMD Hollywood.
Wow,
which stands for medical marijuana.
Due to restrictions, we can't tell you everything about our new reality series. But what we can say is the idea behind it is fully baked. High Hopes. Streaming 4/20 on Hulu.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
This is a promotional message for Alexia Sweet Potato Fries, and in the process of elucidating you on all the wondrous virtues Alexia Sweet Potato Fries have to offer, I intend to do so in a prodigious manner befitting of such a superlative side. That's because all Alexia creations are creatively crafted, from sweet potato fries that accomplish a delicate balance of sweet and savoury, without GMOs or superfluous additives, to the eloquent lexicon of our advertisements, like this one, because every Alexia experience is intended to feel creatively crafted and exceptional without exception. Alexia's Sweet Potato Fries. Do procure them in your grocer's freezer.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops. When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
from executive producer Jimmy Kimmel.
What's up, team? Just two people can't launch a brand. It takes a village.
We are MMD Hollywood.
Wowee.
Which stands for medical marijuana.
Due to restrictions, we can't tell you everything about our new reality series. But what we can say is the idea behind it is fully baked.
I don't know.
High Hopes. Streaming 4/20 on Hulu.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the Men's Room knows just who it is. So to you, we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Drink time it is, and as usual, we head to the drink desk and Steve throw a hill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed. And today we toast 65-year-old Madonna Louise Ciccone, a.k.a. Madonna. Now, in spite of her being 65, her face is only about 15, yet looks 85. You do the math, crazy thing, but here we are. Last Thursday night, she was performing a concert in Inglewood, California at the Kia Forum. In other words, she was in L.A. Anyway, I don't know now. I have never understood Madonna's appeal, but she is a massive star, and her fans are loyal. Well, let's face it, she does the pop music. So that said, her crowd was enthusiastic. They're up there dancing, doing all the things that you would typically do at a Madonna show. And let's face it, if you're a performer, watching people dance is something everybody loves. So maybe that's why she singled out a single fan that was sitting and said, quote, "What are you doing sitting down over there?" Then she went to the edge of the stage to investigate, and she realized that person was in a wheelchair. That is all. Yeah. Don't do. How many times does this have to happen before you say, hey, maybe this person who spent that much money and is that close, because it's not like they're way off. I mean, they're close to the stage, spent more money than most. They're not. Good chance they might be in a wheelchair.
I think they just forget when you're on stage. Just like, come on, man, get up.
Get up. Everybody else.
Also, don't give me grief when you're known to show up 2 hours late for your own doggone concert.
Yeah, it might be like, dude, I'm sitting down because we've been waiting. My wife actually did not go to the shows specifically. Now, she's a Madonna fan, and I make fun of her for it, but she said, I want to go. And I said, as long as I don't have to go with you, I'll buy you the ticket. Then she was on the fence about it. I said, babe, look, who knows how many more times she is going to tour. If you want to see her, go see her. She goes, look, I'm too old. The show was like on a Monday or Tuesday night, and I don't know what time she's going to show up. Sure enough, a couple friends of ours went, yeah, she showed up about an hour and a half, 2 hours late. It's ridiculous.
Kanye was the longest one I ever waited for.
He averages, about 2.5 hours?
It was late.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, man. Either way, we pour this booze and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy!
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies.
Down the hola bitola!
The Men's Room presents Profile This.
And Stephen Hill, could you please start everyone? Now, Profile This is played.
I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. Hello, Devin. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola.
Hola. All right, D-Man, you understand how this here game is played?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. You have a choice of one of three stories. We have the wonderful world of drugs. We have Bite Me. In other words, what did somebody find in their food? And finally, Hit Me with Your Best Shot, where you guess the unconventional weapon that someone chose to use as a weapon.
Well, no animals, so let's do drugs.
Little Arnold for you. All right. With that friendly accent. Here's your story. Police arrested a 42-year-old woman after she disrobed in the Carmel Clay Public Library and walked around naked while under the influence of drugs. A library employee told police that the woman, one Gwen Cornell, she stood on a bench as she took off all of her clothes and then began walking through the facility. The incident happened at approximately 6 p.m. on the second floor of the library. Now, another employee told police that she advised Cornell that she needed, to wear clothes, but Cornell responded by saying, and I quote, "Oh, really?" before walking to a computer station to look something up. The employee said Cornell began talking to a man near the computer, which is when the incident was finally reported to the police. A library patron told investigators he was sitting at a table when a nude woman approached him and grabbed his anatomy book, went to a computer to look something up, and then returned the book before leaving the area. So somewhat cordial. When police arrived, they found her sitting alone on a bench. The affidavit states that while transporting her to the jail, she uttered that she'd been doing drugs and running around the library naked. So she copped to the whole thing. Anyway, witnesses said that police responded swiftly to remove the woman from the premises, and that normal library operations resumed with no further incidents. The question is, what drug was our naked friend on? Was it methamphetamine? Was it crack cocaine? Was it Xanax, or was it old-fashioned weed? So meth, crack, Xannies, or weed?
What do you think, Ted?
You said she was 42?
42 years old.
And where was it at?
This is Carmel Clay. I don't know. I'm just going to guess Florida, but truly I have no idea.
Right, so she's in there, then she's naked.
She showed up clothed, then stood on a bench and got naked, then walked around. And said she did, other than being nude, she didn't really cause any disturbances. She snatched the guy's book, but gave it back after she looked up whatever she wanted to look up.
I'm going to go meth.
Go meth?
Meth for Ted.
Miles?
Xanax for me.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking, just because she wasn't making a huge scene. I'm going Xanax.
Xanax as well.
All right, it's a big scene, but
what was this? What was this lovely lady at the library on? Was it meth, crack, Xanax, or weed? We'll find out next.
That was a tease.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops. When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no magic.
From executive producer Jimmy Kimmel.
What's up, team? Just two people can't launch a brand. It takes a village.
We are MMD Hollywood.
Wow,
which stands for medical marijuana.
Due to restrictions, we can't tell you everything about our new reality series. But what we can say is the idea behind it is fully baked.
I don't know.
High Hopes. Streaming 4/20 on Hulu.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
This is a promotional message for Alexia Sweet Potato Fries, and in the process of elucidating you on all the wondrous virtues Alexia Sweet Potato Fries have to offer, I intend to do so in a prodigious manner befitting of such a superlative side. That's because all Alexia creations are creatively crafted, from sweet potato fries that accomplish a delicate balance of sweet and savoury, without GMOs or superfluous additives, to the eloquent lexicon of our advertisements, like this one, because every Alexia experience is intended to feel creatively crafted and exceptional without exception. Alexia's Sweet Potato Fries. Do procure them in your grocer's freezer.
99.9 KISW. We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Categories: drugs on profile. This got a woman arrested after walking around the public library naked, and she was on drugs. Question is, what drug was she on? Was she on meth? Was she on crack, Xanax, or weed?
And Devin, that is the very question we posed to you. Let us start with the Ted Smith.
Not meth, huh?
Believe it or not, man, that had all the hallmarks of methamphetamine, but it was not methamphetamine. Now, Devin, you were tracking with Miles there because I think the next safest bet is Xanax. Because even though it's legal and it's prescription, people do weird crap. But it was not Xanax.
Crack?
Weed. She smoked weed. Decided to go to the library and get naked.
Perfect.
No, I wish that was always the case.
Okay. Now for all TV news all the time, it's time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
All right, your choices today. You got Bill Maher.
Okay.
The Jimmys.
Fallon and Kimmel.
Seth Meyers. Weekend Update. Or Ted Smith.
Is it Ted or is it late night?
It is right there in the title. Those guys have teams of talented writers help them come up with monologues each and every night. It is up to you to determine, is this an actual late night joke and from whom, or could it be a The Ted Smith original?
The Academy Awards, or the Oscars as you know them, are this Sunday, and we all know what that means. L.A. will have a cocaine shortage for the next 2 weeks.
Get some Bill Maher.
Ted Smith.
That is me. Netflix announced it will live stream a fight between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, but the real fight will be Mike Tyson trying to pronounce Netflix.
Weekend Update?
Weekend Update.
Yes, Weekend Update.
Netflix announced that in July it will live stream a fight between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. But the real fight will be Mike Tyson trying to pronounce Netflix.
The gift bags at the Oscars are all worth $178,000 each. They contain 3 HP ink cartridges.
Fallon.
Seth?
Fallon.
I read that the gift bags at the Oscars are each worth $178,000. Ooh. Yep, they contain 3 HP ink cartridges.
For the first time ever, 2 male humpback whales were filmed having sex with each other. Learn more about it in the heartbreaking drama Humpback Mountain.
I'll say SNL.
SNL.
It's SNL.
For the first time ever, 2 male humpback whales were photographed having sex. Learn more about it in the heartbreaking drama Humpback Mountain.
It's almost like, has there been female humpback whales filmed having sex together?
Yeah, but no one shares that.
Right, I was going to say, it's like, 2 males. This is weird. Right. Like, not really shocking.
No. Chicks get after it. That's cool.
Yeah, what's the movie? 300, right? About all the...
the Spartans.
Yeah, and like I saw somebody the other day, they're like, yeah, a lot of them were gay and stuff too. Like sometimes I wonder, like, do people not pay attention to history class?
Yeah, no.
Like, it's been going on forever. The Roman Empire was like, well, they said orgy. They meant orgy.
Mm-hmm. The Romans were like, have genitals, we'll get down.
Their whole idea was the closer you were with another man who was part of your battalion, brigade, whatever.
Yeah.
That you would have
Fighting
a bond
hard
that you would, you would fight to die on their behalf.
Sure.
So they got guys paired up.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of the military people will that you understand you're putting your life on your line for the person next to you, but I don't know if they're all having sex.
No, probably not all of them.
Right, like, I don't think the Secret Service guys have sex with the president.
No, they do.
They do.
I have it on good authority. They do.
Yeah. Let's see. Obviously, the Oscars were last night. Jimmy Kimmel was the host. Some people liked some of his acts. Some people didn't. Here's some of the highlights and lowlights from his monologue.
Look, kids, it's Barbie and Ken sitting just near each other. Ryan and Margot, I want you to know that even if neither one of you wins an Oscar tonight, you both already won something much more important, the genetic lottery. Ryan, you are so hot. Let's go camping together and not tell our wives. Robert Downey Jr., this is the highest point of Robert Downey Jr.'s long and illustrious career. Well, one of the highest points. But here's some fun Oscar trivia. 48 years ago, Robert De Niro and Jodie Foster were nominated for Taxi Driver, and they are both nominated again tonight. In 1976, Jodie Foster was young enough to be Robert De Niro's daughter. Now she's 20 years too old to be his girlfriend.
Yeah, and I saw some people kind of gave him some flack about talking about Robert Downey Jr. and his past and everything. But, I mean, Robert Downey Jr. is pretty open about it. So I was
he
like,
did not care.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I was fine with those jokes. Like, he was laughing about it. He was touching his nose.
Yeah, he started tapping his nose.
Making a cocaine joke. It's like, yeah, like he's talked about it a ton. Like, I don't think it's off limits.
No. Well, if you host the Oscars, right, and he's any one of those, like, no matter what you do, you're going to lose, right? I mean, it's a guarantee. No matter what you do, no matter how funny you were, they're going to pick apart whatever it is they didn't like. But that's part of what doing comedy is,
Well, and Billy Crystal, I remember, it seemed like he hosted it forever.
Yes, it did.
There was a lot of years there and the singing and the dancing. But right, when you bring in, an actual comedian who also happens to be a late night host and everything, like, it's going to be a little rougher than, say, Billy Crystal.
Right. And it's the same jokes they crack about you on their show anyway. And like I said, don't get mad on someone else's behalf if they're not mad about it. So, Robert Downey Jr., he didn't care. He laughed. And I'm proud of that stuff, man. I did it. I survived.
You're also there getting an award based on what you do for a job. Mm-hmm. Most people don't have that. So if you're there and you did that well and your movie was that successful, this is your night. But figure the host, they're going to take their shots. It's part of the whole thing.
I don't know how this is new. This is every year,
it's a bit of a roast, but it's also an award ceremony.
Yeah.
Godzilla won an Oscar last night.
It's amazing that he fit on stage.
You know what? I don't know how to determine whether Godzilla is a man or a woman.
Well, it was Mothra for Best Supporting Actor.
Yes, Best Support. Best monster in a supporting role.
Godzilla -1 got an Oscar for Best Visual Effects. The guy that spoke for the team, obviously not fluent in English, but he read some speech off a piece of paper. And, he was so pumped. Everybody loved it. He had shoes on that had Godzilla claws for the heels.
They all, so, it's a team that does the special effects. So there's maybe 8 of them. I don't know. But they all had like mini rubber Godzillas in their hands when they took the stage.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Godzilla's been around forever. Now an award winner.
Yeah, but it's been a long time since it looked good.
Yeah, a long time.
I don't have to speak for Mike. He obviously was over at the house.
Your
for
black tie.
Black tie Oscar Academy Awards party. Did you guys watch any of the Oscars?
Yeah, I didn't have a choice.
All right.
At one point, I forgot they were on, and then my wife goes, "Oh, S," and grabs the remote, and I'm like, "What's on?" I don't want to tell you. I'm like, "No, man, what's up?" God damn it. Okay. And I'm in it, right? I do. Okay.
That's why she didn't want to tell you.
I mean, it's like I told you. When I watched all the Emmys a few weeks ago, like, you start watching it, you're like, all right. Screw it, it's an award show.
It really wasn't bad. It was not bad. It just would not have been my choice. So thanks to my wife, that is why I watched.
Also, besides Oppenheimer and Barbie, I learned some movies I probably might want to check out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Oppenheimer obviously was a big winner there last night. Barbie, like they say this, Barbie was getting its clock cleaned by Oppenheimer. Like, well,
it wasn't. Okay.
Two different kind of movies.
Very much so.
Best Picture was Oppenheimer. I'm sure a lot of people saw that. Christopher Nolan won for Best Director for that.
I'm a Christopher Nolan apologist. I have not seen Oppenheimer yet, but there's very few movies he's made that I don't like.
Yeah, silly.
And Cillian Murphy's an almost Cillian.
Is it Cillian?
It is Cillian.
Right.
It is
right.
Cillian.
He won for Best Actor. Emma Stone won for Best Actress. Robert Downey Jr. won Best Supporting Actor for Oppenheimer. So there's a lot of stuff there. They won a lot of things. Did you say you saw it?
I have not seen it yet. I will. It's a long movie, so I'm just kind of like, I know I need to be committed to watching it, and it's a historical thing. Like Christopher Nolan, when he does his own thing, I'm like, I'm in. I know it'll be long, but it's cool. It's not. I kind of know the story, so I'm sure it's a very good movie. But I'm like, okay, you're ready to sit through this again?
Yeah, you got to put in the time.
Yes,
and it doesn't seem like any more movies ever have a intermission.
No,
like we were talking about this the other day. I can't remember if it was on the show or just a group of friends. Everybody's like that, and I'm like, look. It's been a long time, but I've been to movies that used to have an intermission.
Pretty sure The Godfather 1 and 2 did.
That was back in the day. They would give you
Gettysburg. Like when you went and saw it in the theater, like after about 90 minutes, they took a break. You could go use the bathroom, get something else, and then come back and watch this. Because it was a 3-hour movie.
I even think they've had like just movies that were so disturbing to people that they took a break.
They took a break,
Like Exorcist, The Deer Hunter. Even if they're only 2.5 hours. They still gave you.
We know you're going crazy.
Yeah, just go get some popcorn, chill out, come back.
I can't remember the movie
that
won Best Editing or whatever. But someone was like, how do they win Best Editing if that movie lasted that damn long? I think it was like another 3-hour movie. So, like, you won Best Editor, but it was like 3 hours and something.
Best Film Editing, Oppenheimer.
There you go.
Yeah, not a short film.
Left the best stuff in there, though.
Hopefully.
The other thing that happens on the weekend of the Oscars is, of course, the Razzies.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
So the Razzies go out for some of the worst performances in Hollywood.
That was a good shake-up to the party, though, Ted. I'm glad that you put those on kind of during the commercials of the Oscar.
It was kind of crazy.
Is the Razzies, are they televised and I just miss it?
I don't
Should they be like on right after the Oscars, even if they pre-taped it?
I'm sure they'd pre-tape. It should be because the actors, the directors, they're so used to the Razzies now that they stop taking as much offense as they used to. Like Halle Berry absolutely accepts it. Like, thank you.
I don't know that they're on.
Yeah, I don't think
that's what I'm saying, but I would watch it if it rolled right over. Like, whoever.
Yeah, and I feel like, honestly, I think they were probably just as shocked as anybody that Halle Berry actually showed up for Catwoman.
I think they were shocked.
I'll take it. They said worst picture of the year, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Wasn't supposed to be best pick.
Right. No, but basically the whole shtick of that movie, I mean, the whole thing was just, it's Winnie the Pooh and Piglet, and it's going to be violent. But, you're right. Nobody saw it and we're like, this is a good slasher flick.
Right.
It's like,
you knew what you were getting into.
To be honest with you, Cocaine Bear had its entertaining moments.
Yeah, and it was a comedy.
Yeah.
Let's see. Worst actor was John Voight in Mercy. Worst actress, Megan Fox in Johnny and Clyde.
And anything.
This is kind of impressive, though. Megan Fox won 2 awards. She also won for Worst Supporting Actress in The Expendable 4s.
Wow.
Yeah, she double dipped down there, which is pretty good. I like this one. Worst Screen Couple. Pooh and Piglet as bloodthirsty slasher killers in Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
My problem with that movie is that there was never a moment where they kind of gave a nod to the audience like, yeah, we know what this is.
So you did watch it?
I did watch it, and I got all the way through it, and it's worth a watch. I will say that
okay.
It's kind of odd in that way, but it didn't get to goofy odd. And I was kind of waiting for that point. Like you made Winnie the Pooh a horror flick. Give me a little wink that's like you're not taking this too seriously, and they never quite gave me that. So that was probably my biggest disappointment. I was like,
do you watch that movie and it's like, are you supposed to be legit scared of Winnie the Pooh and Piglet?
Right.
Like that's a little tough.
Yeah, and it was weird too. Like, definitely go and check it out, but it was weird.
Well, again, right? Like, I think that's one of those things. That movie got made because people said, all right, nobody's ever, we could cash in on this ASAP, but the movie must just be that bad.
Yeah.
It is. You had to be first, right?
Yeah, which I could fathom, and, good for them, but just, it's supposed to be a real, actual horror film as well, right?
Or make it awesome.
Or like Mike said, just make it campy enough where it's like, okay, we get it. It's it's stupid. We get it too.
Kind of like the Cocaine Bear thing. Just make it overly goofy. Maybe not necessarily a comedy, but there are horror movies that are meant to just, like you said, they're just campy and they're fun. But apparently it was good enough to where it merited a sequel. And I love seeing all the headlines like Blood and Honey 2 guaranteed to be better than the first one. It's like the bar was pretty low.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, like Tornado Shark or whatever the hell that was.
Yeah, Sharknado.
Yeah, Sharknado.
Yeah, I mean, those were TV movies, so I think you understand what you're getting into.
And it had Ian Ziering, so.
Yeah.
I mean, even going back to, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it was supposed to be campy and weird. And just,
But it was gory enough to freak people out.
Yeah.
Right, you're kind of still scared. I mean, look, Jeepers Creepers, I think that movie is terrifying. Oh, yeah. Right? But it's...
Creepers.
Yeah, where'd you get those people? But that's the point of it. I'm just saying, if you're not going to make it super campy and at least acknowledge that Winnie the Pooh, this whole concept's ridiculous, you can't just be like, nobody's really scared of Winnie the Pooh.
Mm-hmm. Not until Blood and Honey came out.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd be interested to see Winnie the Pooh as well. Maybe she's going to go off and go crazy. Valerie Bertinelli, she'd announced a while ago that she has been fired from hosting Kids Baking Championship after 12th season.
How do you get fired from that gig?
She lost one of the kids. No, she didn't lose one of the kids. Yeah, contestant 5 left the set and never came back.
We don't know where he's at.
Valerie got in a lot of trouble. I like she says, filming the 12th season saved her life because that was during her apex of hell year, when she was divorcing her now ex-husband. Basically, she's like, man, I really like being on the show. It kind of sucks. I'm gone. She also has some advice for future kid contestants. If you don't want to make it to the next round, please remember this. It's not because you're not a good baker. you just had a bad day. So always believe in yourself. Please do that for me. And keep baking.
Yeah.
I'm going to miss you guys. You know what? And I'm going to leave everybody with that today. You know what, Miles?
A little positive Valerie.
Keep baking.
Okay.
All right, everybody keep baking out there, even though it's a Monday.
Thank you, Ted. We appreciate it. Headlines on the way. You are listening to The Men's Room.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance, too, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
At Metro, get an iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system for $99.99. Take amazing pictures and share them instantly. And don't put up with life's yada yada.
Yada yada.
Like photo bombers. Zoom, crop out,
Yada yada.
and bye.
You don't take yada yada in life, don't take yada yada from your wireless provider. Get iPhone 12 with 5G with no activation fees and nada yada yada. Only at Metro by T-Mobile. Switch to Metro, bring your ID. This offer isn't available for customers currently at T-Mobile or that have been with Metro in the past 180 days.
Look around. You can find cars like these on AutoTrader. Like that car riding your tail. Or if you're tailgating right now, all those cars doubling as kitchens and living rooms are on AutoTrader too. Are you working out and listening to this ad at the same time? Well, multitasking pro. Cars like the ones in the gym parking lot are for sale on AutoTrader. New cars, used cars, electric cars, maybe even flying cars. Okay, no flying cars, but as soon as they get invented, they'll be on AutoTrader. Just you wait. AutoTrader.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. Most people maybe forget the phone charger in a hotel room instead of $250,000 in cocaine. Meanwhile, after 40 years, a message in a bottle washes up 6 miles away. That's kind of lame. A stampede of kangaroos invade a golf course down under, trying to smuggle $130,000 in fentanyl back into the U.S. That makes me wonder. And a couple take a half-hour nap on a flight to Jakarta. It is time for headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's my cock.
All right, our top story, we go down under, where golfers got a little held up. Golf courses are constructed in a way to create some natural obstacles and difficulties in the way of water hazards, bunkers of sand, and just general shaping of the fairways, right? But sometimes nature makes some obstacles of their own. Golfers on this course in Australia were forced to hold up their game for a bit after a bunch of kangaroos stampeded across the fairway. A video posted to social media shows the moment the sea of marsupials bound their way across the field of play. The course admitted that while they do regularly see kangaroos on the course, they've never seen anything like this. Have you guys actually seen the video?
A herd? No.
It's insane how many. Like, do you remember that scene in the original Jurassic Park movie with all the, they're just that herd that started moving?
The herbivores?
Yeah, they were. That big herd of them. That's what it looked like.
Really?
That frickin' many kangaroos all at once. Like, it was a true stampede of them.
What is a group of kangaroos? Is it a colony of kangaroos? Is it
a rack of them?
A rack of kangaroos.
Rackaroos. Sounds like a bad cereal.
It's a mob of kangaroos. A mob, they call that. Mob of kangaroos.
Hey, we're going to hop through your golf course, and you're not going to hit nothing of us, you understand?
You understand me? We're going to get safe passage all the way through the night.
We'll hop through your greens, and we'll hop through your sand trap.
We're going to level it out and help your game out a little bit, okay?
Off we go, jumpity jump.
I do recommend that folks check out that video. It is insane just how many kangaroo there are there. Like, I can't put it in words just how many doggone kangaroo are through there. In other news, to Atlanta, where a housekeeper became a snitch. While cleaning one of the rooms in the fancy hotel that she works in, the housekeeper opened up a closet to find a suspicious-looking duffel bag. Inside of said duffel bag was none other than 9 bricks of the classic devil's dandruff. She immediately went to the authorities, who were able to use surveillance footage to find the owner of the bag and arrest him. They're currently working to track down the origin of the cocaine, believing it may have been connected with the Mexican cartels.
Probably because they printed the black dragon directly on top.
Oh, yeah?
Hey, do you want to get caught?
For real?
Am I missing something?
You should not have a trademark.
That's all. If it's an illegal thing, like, yeah, here's my calling card.
Here's my brand. Like that, got it?
Yeah, but it helps.
Helps what?
You got to have a trademark. Like, you, especially with the branding. Like, Frank Lewis was really... not Frank Lewis. The black
DC dude?
No. Up in New York City.
Oh.
Frank Lucas. He was the first one to do it.
Right.
And he started giving out a ton of his supply. He didn't go through the French Connection. He went through some of the soldiers that were in Vietnam. And he started giving out this high-grade heroin. But because he had started making a brand out of it, that like the junkies would specifically go search him out.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so it does seem odd. Like you never keep notes during a meeting with other drug dealers.
Sure.
But the brand stuff actually is like, I watched this whole thing on becoming a gangster. That was part of it. It was like, you got to have a strong brand.
No kidding.
Okay.
I know.
I like how it's the nice round number of 9 bricks.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, there's 9 of them in here.
There's 29 bricks of this.
But wait, there's more. We hit to the southern border of California, where a taxi just couldn't finish his fare. The cab came through the border crossing from Mexico along with 4 passengers and was selected for additional screening. During the inspection, a K-9 unit alerted to something of interest in the trunk of the car. They searched the trunk and were able to come up with a grand total of $130,000 worth of fentanyl, about 10 pounds of it.
Jesus, man.
Those involved were arrested and face heavy penalties.
Yeah, I bet that is the case.
Hey, send them back. Just in case those stories left a bad taste in your mouth,
Thankfully, there's good news.
we go to Scotland, where a message has been received. A local roaming one of the beaches and taking it upon themselves to clean up some of the trash came upon a suspicious-looking bottle. Side note, thank you for cleaning up the beaches. We appreciate that. Inside the bottle, they found a note that was rolled up and bound with an elastic band and opened it to find a humorous SOS note. They actually said that they had hit the outside of it with crayon wax to help kind of preserve it while it was out there in the water, right? This note was penned by an 8-year-old that was complaining of the schoolwork that she was required to do by her teachers.
Yes.
Mainly the struggles of math and sums, and was requesting help post-haste. She had created the message in a bottle and sent it out to sea as the students were learning about pirates all the way back in 1984.
I'd like to find out what she's doing now.
Exactly.
That's a young snapshot of somebody growing up. And
Yeah.
Okay, where did they end up?
So she was 8 years old, 48 years old, just coming up on 50. Like, where are you at in your life right now? What is truly amazing about this voyage is that over the course of this 40-year sailing through the waters, the bottle only traveled about 6 miles from its place of origin. And they did track down the author of the note, and I agree with you, Miles.
What does that say about the currents in that area?
Yeah, no kidding.
Not a whole lot of it there.
Apparently not.
That's probably why Nessie just hangs out in her lake out there. It's like, it's nice, calm waters out here. We don't move a whole lot.
I don't like that bracket stuff.
Yeah, come on now. More good news. Men's Room IPA is found in more and more places, like the Goose Community Grocer on Whidbey Island. One of our eagle-eyed listeners spotted the bright yellow can and got themselves a 6-pack. And we just got a text recently here that said that it was at the Huntington Beach Grocery on Camano Island and at the Safeway in Arlington. All right. Gotta love it. Men's Room IPA, go and find it. Again, we have that. We have the live broadcast at the Black Raven Brewing up in Woodinville, not Redmond, up in Woodinville, this coming Friday, 2 to 6. Check it out. Meanwhile, Men's Room Sports. Mariners spring training continued today as they hosted their Peoria roommates, the San Diego Padres. Yeah, they didn't quite show out today. They lost that game 13-3.
God, man.
I know. That was a bad beat.
Spring training, be like, come on, man.
Right?
Have they given up less than, say, 8 runs in any of these games?
No.
Yeah, I mean, every game, it's not when you want to lose, but just like, Jesus, you guys are giving up a lot, man.
A lot of NFL players on the move, among which former Seahawks linebacker Jordan Brooks.
Where's he going?
Has now found his way, I believe, to Miami. Going to play for the Dolphins. Russell Wilson also found a new home with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Cannot wait.
I know.
And then he's the 4th best quarterback in that division.
And then it's really the 4th best.
I believe so.
You think Cleveland's got their stuff together better than that?
If Homeboy can play a full season, yeah. They have similar styles of playing, but yeah, I think
they were better without.
But Flacco's old. I don't know if he can go the whole way.
Yeah. And then, of course, I wanted him back here, but Gardner Minshew has found himself a new home, going down to Las Vegas playing for the Raiders. You know what? If he's got the backup gig, he's got the cushiest gig. Go chill out in Vegas and go be the backup over there for the Raiders.
You've heard me say it off the air a bunch. Like, I love that dude. I think he's a great backup QB, but like, I just don't know if I trust him to start all the games in a year.
Not all the games, right? As far as what you're going to watch tonight, there's a lot of college basketball tournament games on ESPN, CBS Sports, and FS1. You've also got NBA basketball on the NBA Network, and the Trailblazers are hosting the Celtics over on Route tonight at 7:30 p.m. As far as your weather, pretty straightforward. forward, expect a stagnant situation of scattered showers and mid-40-degree temperatures all the way into tomorrow. Things may be clearing up by the end of the week, however. And that is it for your headlines. With that, Mike Hawk is out.
Thanks, sir. We appreciate it. We're going to feature the Talk Box. Get your brain out of the gutter there on Sit and Spin tomorrow with the lovely Taryn Daly and Steve Mills.
Yes, indeed. It's all true. But in the meantime, well, we be all about this bitch. So until next time, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network. Oh, man! A Double Flush production.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops.
When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
At Metro, get an iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system for $99.99. Take amazing pictures and share them instantly. And don't put up with life's yada yada.
Yada yada.
Like photo bombers. Zoom, crop out,
Yada yada.
and bye.
You don't take yada yada in life, don't take yada yada from your wireless provider. Get iPhone 12 with 5G with no activation fees and nada yada yada. Only at Metro by T-Mobile. Switch to Metro, bring your ID. This offer isn't available for customers currently at T-Mobile or that have been with Metro in the past 180 days.